Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get on our winner takes all $300,000 NFL pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet Online, the game starts here.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
What's popping? Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping, man? We up in this thing, man. What's happening, man? Whether or not, we still about that business, man. We definitely about the business of talking and handling that business, man. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the stream, man. Y'all please feel free to hit the like button. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And by all means, feel free to share your show in social media feed, man. We up in this thing. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Much love. All right. Big ups to the fam, man. It's a hurricane stream, but listen, fam, we going to do this thing the right way. I hope you guys are doing all right out there in Saints land, man. As yes, we have a impending storm approaching, but hey, listen. We still gonna do the do, right? So big ups to y'all. Y'all please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. I hope y'all are hearing everything precisely and fine, man. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear me all right, man. I can't see y'all comments for whatever reason on here. Kind of weird. I can't see y'all stuff, so I just have to monitor it. I got multiple screens that I can advantage from. So I hope you guys are seeing me and hearing me all right. All right. Hold on, fam. Let me do something here because I can't see anybody comments. This wacky thing probably got your comments turned off. Hold on for a second. Let me check on that. But anyway, big ups to you guys. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share our show on social media feed. We are waiting for the Saints, Dennis Allen, to kind of address the family members and see what he got popping and snapping there, what he got to say about some stuff. We'll also go over some news, notes, and items and talk a few things, man, with the fam before we get going. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate you being in the stream. All right. For whatever reason, I don't see any of you guys' comments there. All right. It seemed to be normal. Hold on, fam, just a second. Let me do a little check here, make sure I can see y'all because I can't see any of your comments here. All right, live check. Yeah, look like everything's set correctly. Yeah, look like everything's set correctly. All right. I might have to reset it just to make sure for whatever reason it's not showing me any of your comments right now. All right. I think that's a stream thing. All right. Just hold just a second, fam. Let me see if I can reset this thing right quick and see how it works. If it shut off, just y'all hold tight. Thank you. All right, here we go. All right, we good. I got it all set correctly. All right, so big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Much love, fam. Uh, yeah, we getting ready to kind of check in there, man. As you can see, I got dual streams here. As you can see, this is a live feed currently of Hurricane Francine, who is bearing down on the southern coast of the coast of Louisiana right here. And like I said, we got the Saints with Dennis Allen. They got a presser that they're going to be dropping. But hey, man, I'm with y'all. We're going to talk some football. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Y'all give me a who dat in the chat. Give me a who dat, man. Let me know you're there. All right. All right. So anyway, man, Dennis Allen's supposed to pop up here. We'll react live to whatever the hell he's talking about momentarily. But before we even get into them, let's talk about some of the other stuff going on. We have the Cowboys that'll be popping up, coming up this Sunday at 12 o'clock in their building. A noon game right there. Shout out to our Patreon champions and our YouTube membership family. I was able to, what's up, Ronnie? Big ups to you, brother. All right. I was able to kind of go over and kind of, look at some of the film footage of the game, and we share that on Patreon. And YouTube had to go through Patreon because obviously you're not going to be able to do that through YouTube. They're just going to block it. So I had to run it through Patreon for our family members, and Patreon and YouTube membership family got access to that show. We was able to kind of break it down. Now, Dallas had a complete performance against the Cleveland Browns. They sacked Deshaun Watson 6 times in the game, knocked him down, rattled his cage, and Deshaun Watson was holding on to the ball too long. They had good coverage there, but there were times where he was just supposed to take the hell off. I mean, he had running lanes to run, and he just sat on his ass and tried to stare. It just wasn't a good look, and ultimately, it failed. But credit Dallas for getting after him, knocking him around, 6 sacks. They flustered him, pressured him a bunch of times, but he had more than. The offensive line did a decent enough job at times for him to just scramble out of that. Just get out of harm's way. You got a pair of wheels. Get out of that. Get out of there. Pick up some yards with your feet, slide, let them start to spy you. And that makes it a lot easier for you to throw against that coverage because one less guy out there to cover, they got to spy you. But that offense really didn't get going. It was really disastrous. But looking at what Dallas did overall, the special teams was phenomenal. The kicking game, they were 4 for 4. The kicker was kicking all over the place. The punter was punting all over the place. He had a solid game. And the return man, Turpin, he had a return. So, I mean, it was pretty cool watching that happen as well for them just doing a thing. And then, of course, you look at the offense. Now, we knew the offense would be with Dak Prescott. They only had 2 touchdowns in that game. They had a running touchdown and they had a passing touchdown in which Dak was able to find. Was it okay? Here we go.
Have known that. So we went, filled up my wife's car, parked my car or my truck, and now we're good. have known that. So we went, filled up my wife's car, parked my car. It's easy to compartmentalize because there's so much just on our plate, but at the same time, like we're playing a game, so like you get done and then you think about just like, our city, the families, we're going to have to go through, I guess this afternoon and tomorrow, whatever it is. And, just praying everybody's safe, there's more important things than football right now. But at the same time, while we're at home, spending time with with our family, making sure we're studying and staying on top of our game plan because there's still a game that we have to go try and win.
What kind of work did you guys get into that have to feel about? Like, was the practice same length, same everything?
Yeah, everything was the same except obviously for the afternoon meetings. That's the only thing that changed for us. But the way that we do things, it's easy to jump on a call with coach or your position coach or your coordinator and talk over the practice because we can do it that way as well. And so everything was in the morning was the same. We just started earlier and practice was the same, so we were able to get all of our work in.
Talked a lot about how this offense with Freer. I'm wondering how that kind of shook out in the game. Notice moments where you free.
Yeah. I just I mean it's just it's a different system, and so it's only my first real game doing it. Yeah, we felt it's just what's asked of me is just different than what I was used to in my career, and so it was fun. I had a great time. Obviously, we won the game, and all those things are good. But again, it's just one game, and we got to play them again down the road, and we got one especially this week. And so, but yeah, it felt good. I felt confident. A lot of hard work paying off. But now we got to go do it again, and try and do it again this week.
I know some of the line responsibilities are different. Are there any similarities like when you were doing with this offense, like just structure of the offense?
There's definitely like similar like plays and concepts and things like that. But what I'm asked to do is different. Yeah, it's different.
How much do you have? How much, free reign do you have in making adjustments, changes that the lines based upon what you see from the defense and so on?
Yeah, I think if there was something that I absolutely saw and had to do and did it and put us in the right position to be successful, we would be fine. But I'm just not. That's not what's asked of me. Like they have a lot of things built in with calls and checks and this and that and in the play and all this kind of stuff. And it's been really fun to learn the game that way instead of like, here's the play, the rest is on you, which I love that. That's how I grew up. That's how I played my whole life in college and really high school, college, and in the NFL. That's how I played, except for my last year in Vegas. Like that was what I was used to. And so this is just a little bit different because of it's just a different system of how they put things together. But all of them have all had success. And there's different ways to do it. It's just fun to experience this one.
Some quarterbacks have said like with three-snap motion that it takes maybe a little bit like to not even learn, but like they didn't like it at first, and then they grew to like it. But I'm like, did you kind of go through like a similar learning curve at all with that, or how did you kind of?
I would say I did probably in coming from college, because you just line up and go as fast as you can in college, and everyone basically just lines up. Maybe one or two guys disguise things, but not really. But in the NFL, like with Gruden, we were motioning, shifting. That's why you guys have seen all those clips of the play calls being this long, and we all laugh at them, but it's real. Like it gives you information and all this kind of stuff. And so I got used to it kind of there. And so now that we do it, at least I've had that in my background to where I'm used to seeing that.
You talked a lot about how this offense seems like your strengths, but were there any areas of like weakness or things you needed to improve on that Clint was able to either help or kind of help with how he designed the offense around?
Absolutely. Yeah, we all have things that we're not the best at. I'm not going to give all those clues away or someone's going to force us to do all those things, but he definitely does things to help me. And I appreciate that, and he also, challenges me to get better at those things since April. And so there was a couple of things that we worked on and we got better at, and we're doing them, and there's still, probably some things just like with every player, you're like, hey, well, if that's not his best thing, let's just do what he's best at, And so I've always been, I won't say prideful, but I try and, do my best where I don't have as many of those things, but I am human and I understand that there are things that way. And so not as many Taysom quarterback powers for me, but.
Understanding these
I was very proud of them. You know, it is one game, right? And we understand that, but at the same time, it's still one NFL game. Like they played really well, and I was very proud of them. And there's things they want to clean up, just like there's things I want to clean up. But I really was proud of their response, and I tried to I was talking about how cool just their demeanor was all off season. They're going everywhere together. They're doing things, and I just felt this urgency about it. And so to see that pay off, we talk about the right things. They were doing those right things, but you never know until the game day if it's going to pay off, and it did for us. And so I was happy for that. But we have a huge challenge this week. With Dallas's front, they're really good, but I have all the confidence in our guys to go out there and compete at a high level. And so I was really, really, really proud of them. In that first game on how they played. It allowed me to go through my reads and go through my progressions and make decisions and run or not. It really allowed me just to freely play quarterback, and it was fun.
So anything about the offensive front does stand out in terms of the way you're able to generate that pressure?
I mean, they're just really talented. They're really good all across the board. Everyone's going to talk about 11 and 90, but I mean, they got guys inside. They have some guys, other guys outside. I mean, they got guys all over the place, and they have an amazing coach, and Coach Zimmer and Coach Gunther's over there. I know Coach Gunther is with me with the Raiders, and he is one of the smartest coaches I've ever been around in my life. Just the way he sees things, and sees quarterbacks and sees coordinators, and the way he does that. And so they have great scheme, along with really, really good talent. And so we'll definitely have our work cut out for sure.
What does make Parsons the unique challenge?
He's so fast. He's powerful. Plays extremely hard. He's one of the best players in our game. And so I hope and think people are talking about him that way. But you turn on the tape and he reminds me of Von Miller all those years that me and Von were battling 2 times a year. He really reminds me of Von with that explosiveness, that get off, his understanding of what they're trying to do to him and those kind of things. Very, very impressive. And he plays off the ball too. I mean, he can literally play anywhere he wants on a defense. It's really impressive.
Did you identify, specifically, are you trying to identify Dallas' scheme, or are you like, where is he because of the?
Well, both. I mean, Coach Zimmer knows that, he gets in the coordinator's mind of what are they going to try and do. Well, I'm going to do this with him. And for a guy to be able to do all of those things, he's one of the better football players I've ever seen in my life, the way that he can do all those different things. So it's really impressive, and it's fun to watch on film. As a fan of the game, you appreciate, watching a guy like that, because you don't get to see that all the time. And so I have, yeah, he's a really good player. Yeah, really good.
Do you do anything to, like, are you keeping an eye on him, or do you kind of just trust the guys up front? Like, how do you handle that when you're going against a guy like that?
Oh yeah, man. I better not, look at him. I don't want to look at him. You just, you trained as a quarterback to just feel your way in the pocket. But, guys like him and, DeMarcus, since college, I've been playing against him. They do a great job of disrupting the pocket, as they did last week against Deshaun. I mean, they did a great job. And so, for me, you just keeping your eyes downfield, make the best read, try and get the ball out on time, all those kind of things. But if I look down, I'm doing my receivers a disservice. So you try your best, keep your eyes up unless you got to find a scramble lane or things like that. But try your best to always keep your eyes downfield.
You talk about compartmentalizing. When you're human beings first, football players. So, I mean, how much is it a thought in the back of your mind? How much conversation with players having about the storm, and is it difficult though, because you got a family at home to focus, and just how big a deal is this in the locker room?
Yeah, I think all of us we're humans first. Like, we love. I'm a Christian man, and then I'm a husband, and then I'm a father. And then I happen to play football. That's my job. And I want to make sure that my family's okay and all that kind of stuff. Of course, we're human and all those things, but at the same time, we also understand that we do have a job to do. Even when circumstances aren't perfect. We still have to focus. We still have to, like, I'll be home studying tonight, but I'll be doing it with all my kids sitting right next to me, because, this is their first time going through something like this. So they have a lot of questions, and those are real things that we have to answer. But when I come to work, I owe it to my teammates to be locked in and be ready to go for tomorrow. And so, we're human, but we also recognize we have a job to do. And we also recognize that, our city has been through a lot. And so, our prayers are with, whole city, whole state of Louisiana, wherever this is passing through. And you just pray that everyone's safe. I mean, we had our players, we were praying for the city today. We were praying for each other and all kinds of stuff. We were prayed for our city, because it's, again, we are football players, but there are some things that are really important right now.
Talk, boy!
I finally got one. I did. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, big ups to Head Trauma for the super chat. I have confidence in Kubiak, but I got to be protected.
Before I begin, I just first
Thank you,
want
bro.
to let everybody know in the city that our hearts and our prayers are with everybody. We had our team prayer this morning. We were praying.
All right, sorry about the dumb ads, man, but that's part of the game. Live like this.
Storms that continuously hit this area. It becomes kind of like you can have all the predictions in the world, but it's still unknown as to what's going to take place. And I think that's the part. And so, some areas have favorable predictions, some don't. And so we're just praying. Everybody, hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody's hunkered down. Those that were able to get away, you're still in our prayers as well. It's just, it's a serious thing. And so we just want to know, like, even in the midst of all this going on and what we have to focus on, our hearts and prayers are with everybody.
Just some of the younger guys that maybe haven't been through something like this, they guys like me, questions at all?
Yeah, people who new to this, they don't necessarily know what to expect. And so, the people who multiple times, kind of have a guess, but, we don't know for sure either. So I think it's just one of those things that trying to make it through together. So.
You remember what worked so well? I mean, this probably hopefully won't compare, but remember the game after Ida in Jacksonville against Green Bay? This season. What do you feel like that showed about that team in terms of its ability to deal with distractions and games? Are you trying to rechannel that now?
No, I just think everybody. That's one of the unique things about this game. You think about the high level that people have to be able to compartmentalize and focus at. You have to understand that the seriousness that we're going through is not the seriousness that our opponent is going through, but the focus has to be the same. Our opponent is looking at us like they glad you got problems. They don't necessarily glad you got a hurricane, and not that they wish bad, but they glad that you got problems, because it's adversity that'll be in their favor. And so that's the part about this game. It goes on. And because that's your job, you just got to be able to do it at a high level in the midst of whatever adversity that is.
What do you think when you talk about living up to doing your job and face of adversity, sometimes galvanizing force in the locker room, getting guys focused and stuff?
It can be. It can be. Sometimes a challenge is so extreme that it brings people together, and I think that happens. So it can't be an excuse for you not to do your job, but it can be something that can bring you together to build more chemistry, more camaraderie, more momentum, whatever that may be. So yeah, at times that can happen.
Has it been important for you to convey the message of not getting too high after a performance like that this week? Is that a real challenge that teams face, especially after week one?
I mean, it's
Good question.
It's week one. At the end of the day, it's great to get a win. It's hard to win this league, but it's week one. There's nothing to be, boasting about. It's a win, good win. They're hard to come by. Grateful. On to the next. We have a tremendous challenge in front of us this week, and that's what we were out working on today. It's a heavy challenge, and we look forward to it, embracing it.
Mario, as one of the guys that executed DA's pressures so well over the years, from your perspective, what are some of the things that are really good about how he designs those and put you guys in position for the rest of the season?
I think he's just one of the smartest defensive minds that I've ever been around. I think I say that a lot, but he's so innovative. He's so good at anticipating what other teams are trying to do and creating complex equations for them to try to figure out in the middle of the game. And so that the challenge is oftentimes on the players to learn the scheme week to week, because we know if we go out and execute it, it's going to create so many complex issues from the front. A lot of times they have a hard time trying to anticipate what we're trying to do from a defense up front. It's easier to run the ball when you know what they're going to do. I think it's harder for the quarterback to get a bead on the coverages because they kind of look the same, but it's a little wrinkle that can throw you off. And so when we can learn it and execute it with speed, it's a thing of beauty to see inside the game when you're looking at kind of the chess match that's happening.
With the natives, interesting word. How much new stuff has been kind of brought to the table since 16 first got here to kind of.
I got here.
How much you guys have played with?
Yeah, I got here in 18, and I mean it's kind of like Madden. It's the same game. But you think about the evolution over every year. Madden 2018 don't play like Madden 24. Or you think about a car that upgrades, or you think about a phone that upgrades. It's the same phone, the same car, but it's a lot of new features in there. And I think that's what he's very good at. And so it's like you can go back and study, the tape for, years back, but it may be misleading, or it may help you. I think that's the complexity. Is like, I would imagine for an offensive coordinator, you're trying to guess right, but that same guess can cost you. All right, thank y'all. God bless.
All right, that's the Mario, man. We got some more people chimed in here. We'll see what they got going on here. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Derek Carr. Also, we heard from Demario Davis, man, our defensive leader there. We'll see if Dennis Salinari is.
Well, look, obviously, a little challenge in terms of preparation here with the, storm coming through. Kind of moved everything up just a little bit this morning to try to beat the majority of it, get the guys out of here, get them home, get them in a safe spot. And then based on the information that we have, it sounds like it's going to kind of take its course through the course of the evening. And then, so the plan as we sit here right now would be a kind of a normal Thursday schedule, but we'll be ready to adjust if we need to. Look, I think this is going to be a really, really good challenge for us. I think this is one that, we're going to embrace this challenge. We're looking forward to going up to Dallas and having a chance to play against a really good football team, an extremely well-coached football team, a team that's won a lot of games over the last few years. I think they're really good in all three phases. On special teams, they've got a really good scheme. Got a really good returner. They do a good job with their specialist. Obviously, their field goal kicker's got an extremely strong leg, so that becomes a weapon. The punter can put the ball where he needs to. He can directional kick it. He's got a strong leg, and they do a good job of covering. So they're really good on special teams, on defense. I think Mike Zimmer is one of the better defensive minds in our game. He's always done a really good job. He's got some good players. They're good on all three levels. Probably get after the quarterback as good as anybody in our league. Micah Parsons, I think, is a dominant player regardless of position. One of, if not the best defensive player in our league. So he's a guy that we're going to have to pay attention to, understand where he's at. Obviously, Kendricks, as the Mike linebacker, he runs the show. He's been in Zimmer's defense, so they do a good job. They play sound. They play with good fundamentals. They take the ball away in the back end. Tough challenge there. Offensively, they're one of the higher scoring teams in our league over the last few years. Quarterback's playing really well. CeeDee Lamb is a heck of a receiver. Brandon Cooks. I think their offensive line, they've always built their team, offensively to start with the offensive line. I think they do a good job. They got Ezekiel Elliott back, in terms of run game. So they just got a lot of weapons. They do a lot of really good things. They're well coached. They play really, really well at home. And so it's a great opportunity for us.
Was the decision to not have more pretty much predicated on, didn't feel like it was going to be as severe a storm as?
Yeah. I think that was the reason why we felt like, there's a lot that goes into an evacuation. It's not just we pick up and we go somewhere, you got to find a place to stay. You're trying to make sure you're taking care of the families. So there's a lot that goes into that. I know a few years ago, I can't remember exactly when it was. We've been through a few of these. So I remember it was a Cat 1 that came right through New Orleans that it wasn't a practice day, but we were game planning through that. So, look, we want everybody to be safe, and yet we felt like we could still get our work done and keep everybody safe and not have to try to go through all the logistics of what it takes to go through an evacuation.
I think you were talking about Vega a few years ago.
Yeah.
Y'all worked through generator power. So
Yeah.
y'all gonna, is it coaches?
Coaches will be here this evening. We'll probably find a corner of the room to lay down in at some point in time and get a little bit of sleep. But yeah, we'll plan on, because I think the most significant weather is going to be, this evening into the early morning hours, and so that's kind of when we would be trying to wrap up. So I don't see anybody trying to get out of here in that type of weather.
Does that qualify as a slumber party?
That's not what I would call it. All right, but I think there'll be a few people that, find a place to lay down at here.
Did you miss anything? Like, what's the most significant thing you have to sacrifice to do this?
Well, an hour of sleep for the players. I mean, we moved everything up an hour. Tomorrow we'll plan is to start at the same time, but we'll add in the meeting time that we're missing with the players this afternoon.
All right,
Schedule.
go.
These guys will get you that information in terms of when it starts.
You mentioned Nelson's defensive pressure. Is that as much scheme as it is personnel? Or is that
Yeah, it's both. It's both. I mean, I think it's a really good scheme. They have a really good pressure package, and so we'll have to have, we'll have to be on point with how we're identifying who's coming, which way the protection's going, all those kinds of things, and so that'll be a challenge. And then when you have a good scheme and you have really good players doing it, it becomes even better.
Your team does have like so many good guys that are pass rushers or like a lot of good receiving. How do you guys dictate who you're going to pay the most attention to? Like, how are those decisions?
Yeah, well, look, sometimes those are tough decisions, and yet, well, like on offense, you can't double everybody, right? And we can't double team every defensive player, in terms of protection or run blocking or anything like that. So I think you just, you evaluate their personnel, and then you have to make the decisions that you think are best. And sometimes that might, that might make somebody else's job maybe a little bit more difficult, but I think on every play, somebody's going to have a hard down, and we expect them to be able to do their job.
When you guys are like deciding the double receiver, like what situations in the game dictate when you would actually double them versus, is it like down and distance or?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's all game plan related. I mean, we're going to watch tape. We're going to see what we need to do, what we feel like gives us, a good chance to have success, and then we'll go from there.
I think kidding earlier about slumber this one of those things just falls under the, this is the coach's life, and this is what it's about? I mean, I know you have concerns, maybe
Yeah.
him being with the family.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of things that you take into consideration when you're doing this, um, we felt like obviously in this situation, we felt like we were going to be able to do our work and make sure we keep everybody safe and make sure everybody's family is safe, and be able to do that and stay here. And then, when it was Ida a few years ago, it was one of those where we didn't feel like we were going to be able to get our stuff done. We felt like people might, be at risk. And so we took basically the whole, football operation and families and everybody, and we went to Texas for, the team was there for about a month, and the family probably there a couple of weeks anyway.
Does he know more about meteorology? You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think I know anything about meteorology. But I can listen. I'm pretty good at that, and we just when you have things like this, the hard thing is ultimately you have to make a decision on what you're going to do, and that's the hard thing. It's like none of us wanted to evacuate. And yet we wanted to make sure that, we weren't putting anybody in harm's way. And so, and then eventually you have to come to that decision. Here's what we're going to do. And, an evacuation, that decision has to come a little bit quicker, So I think we kind of knew early on that we felt like this was going to be a situation that we could manage. Now, what I didn't know was, were we going to be able to get in and get our work done today? I didn't know if we were going to have to treat this like a short week and give the players off today. And then, Thursday would be like, like we were playing on a short week and we'd have 3 days of practice rather than 4 days of practice. So, but after we kind of let it get to the 12th hour, we realized, I think we can, I think this is how we can make this work.
So what did you make of the meeting in the afternoon with the players after the kind of personal thing?
No, well, I'm sending the players home. They'll go home, and then we'll just extend the meetings tomorrow, and we'll get what we missed this afternoon. We'll get that in the morning before we get into the next install. Yeah, look, I thought it was good. I mean, I thought, I thought he played physical. Thought he played the run well. I thought he affected the passer. I think he was disruptive. So yeah, I think he was an issue in the game.
Yeah, is that, I mean, he got any pressure since they have a sack with you? Is that as good as you can?
You keep getting pressures on the quarterback, eventually your numbers, from a sack total are gonna be there, and he's gonna draw a lot of attention, so that's gonna open up some things for some other people. So there's a lot of in this game that we play, there's a lot of hidden production, where things are happening and you're causing things to happen and you're causing negative things for the other team. And yet that didn't show up on the stat sheet, but it does show up on the tape.
Yeah, how much of the defensive line given this game led to Alontae's 3 sacks, Alontae's 4 sacks in a day?
Yeah. Well, it was probably a combination of things. I thought the 4-man rush, even though we didn't get the quarterback on the ground every time, I thought we affected the quarterback. I thought we were around the quarterback. I thought we got the quarterback off the spot, so he wasn't able to just stand back there and read the defense out and throw the football. And so, we all get enamored with sack totals, and certainly they're important. But it's really about how much do you actually affect the quarterback, and affect his ability to be comfortable in the pocket. And that's, and that really never changes. Obviously, when we want to get the quarterback, on the ground, but, when you bring the extra element, okay, now there's not as many scramble lanes, right? You're bringing an extra, dot in front of the quarterback, so he's got to maneuver around, 5 or 6 people rather than just having to deal with, 4 people. So, and I think that's a balance that you have to be able to have. I think you got to be able to, rush the quarterback with 4. And I think the most successful defenses are able to do that. And yet you need some times where you want to bring some extra pressure.
How does that change this week, or what sort of challenges it present with Dak, given that he's so good outside the pocket?
Yeah, well, look, he's good outside the pocket. He's good inside the pocket. He's good wherever he's at, so it's going to present a challenge, either way. He does a good job when you pressure him. He finds the open receiver. When you got more than they can block, he has a tendency to be able to, just kind of drift away from the rush and still have enough arm strength to get the ball to his target. When you 4-man rush him, he's a good enough scrambler or mover in the pocket. I think he's got really good pocket presence in terms of being able to step up through the pocket and find running lanes or keep his eyes down the field and find open receivers.
You were really high on the quarterback even day one of training camp, the depth there. Where do you feel that room stands now, even with a lot of more doing?
Yeah, I'm really confident with that group. I think Debo, Lante Taylor, JaQuincy, Rico Payton. I mean, he's a guy that man, to start training camp, I was like, I'm not seeing it. And then, you just see him each day get a little bit better, and so he'll continue to get better. And so I feel really good about that room. And certainly when Lattimore's out there, you feel even better. What's that? He did not practice today.
Anything special at all to you about playing in Dallas, Cowboys, growing up in Texas?
Only if we win. I mean, honestly, it's really about, going and playing a game. Obviously, grew up watching the Cowboys. And I still have family in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so my mom still lives there. So special meaning I got some friends there. I got my mom there. I'll probably get a chance to see her this weekend, which will be nice. But and I'll have plenty of family at the game. But look, other than that, I mean, it's really about just going and playing and trying to win a game, and whether it's in Dallas or Philly or wherever.
So does she root for the Cowboys?
No.
Go back to the quarterbacks. How do you feel like Kool-Aid handled being called in there for a lot more snaps than you probably would have expected?
Yeah, look, I mean, we came out of coverage on one of the scrambles, all right, which is, it's a great learning experience for him, and so I would say overall, I think he went in there and performed well. I'm excited about what I think he can do. I think as with any rookie, there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some rookie mistakes that you're going to make. The big thing for me is that he gets indoctrinated to our culture and the way that we play the game. And he's been improving in that area, on a daily basis. So I think he's going to be a good player for us. He's growing, and there's going to be some growing pains that go along with that. But that's, that's really, honestly, that's what we get paid to do. That's our job. Our job is to grow and develop young, talented players. And so that's what we'll do.
How much do you think the motion that you guys ran at the frequency, how much of that grew up?
Well, look, I can't say specifically. I don't know what that defensive scheme is, and the structure and exactly what they're telling guys to do. I do know this. I do know, from a defensive coach's standpoint, when you stand stagnant, it's a little easier to, to figure out what's going on. And so the more you shift, move, motion. Now, when you shift in motion and do those things, the defense changes too. So as an offense, you have to identify, where those X's are going, so we can get our O's in the right spot to be able to have success. And so, that sometimes it can present a challenge to the offense too. So I think you have to have a balance in terms of what you're doing.
One on both quarterbacks, Derek and Dak. This is someone who has some experience with that. The passing back compared to Derek. It's weird because you're in the business and they get this criticism. Dak doesn't win enough in the playoffs. Derek has great numbers, but that's in the playoffs. It's just someone who's in the business and has prepared the goal. Have you ever heard that stuff, and what do you think about it?
Well, I think as someone who is in the business and someone who has had to prepare against Derek and has also had Derek in the building, and for someone who's had to prepare against Dak, I got a lot of respect for both of those guys. I don't think anybody really understands how hard the quarterback position is to play in our league, and it's still only one. It's only one position. It's one of 11, and the other 10 guys have to be able to do their job for, the quarterback to be able to have success. And in the same realm, it's the quarterback's job to, elevate the play of those around them. So I think it's, everybody's always looking for who's the one person we're going to give credit to, or who's the one person we're going to blame. When things go good, we want to give this guy the credit. When things go bad, we want to blame this person. And really, it's all of us. I mean, it's everybody included. And so, yeah, I think sometimes it's a little, unjust. And yet I get it from a fan's perspective. You just want to win, right? I mean, that's really all you're looking for. So I understand where that's coming from, but I also understand the internal dynamics of what it takes to win in our league.
Big topic for Dak is size of contract he just got.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they feel pretty good about him, right? I mean, you don't give a guy that type of contract without feeling pretty good about him. And yeah, I mean, I just know we've played against him, and he's tough to deal with. All right, and so I can't speak on how anybody else may feel about that, but I know I'm not getting a lot of sleep.
A little different subject, but both, I think, probably have new turf in the dome. Do you have any issues with that at all? Some teams around the league struggle with it.
No, I don't think we had any challenges that I can think of. And I haven't had any complaints with our guys. I think we're one of the few teams. I don't know who else does it. We put new turf down in the dome every year. So that's one of the reasons why we like to, obviously we play 1 or 2 preseason games there, and then we like to have a practice in there and kind of get a feel for it and get our footing and make sure it settles the way it needs to settle. And, if there's any issues, we can kind of get those things ironed out before we play a real game. So.
And along the lines of what Brett was asking about Dak, you don't hear a lot of criticism of Mike McCarthy when he coaches against him, I'm sure. I mean, as a head coach,
How many games you want him to win? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I got it. I understand. I understand, postseason success. Honestly, I understand that. But to get in the postseason, you have to win a lot of games. And he won a lot of games in Green Bay as a head coach, and he's won a lot of games in Dallas as a head coach. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. Not to mention he is a Super Bowl champion. All right, thank you.
All right. That's Dennis Allen, man. Very extended press conference there. I don't know if they got anybody else popping up next, man. But listen, fam. All I can say, man, is that I'm looking forward to the black and gold, man, handling their business against this Cowboys team, man. And it's going to be interesting, man. And we're going to go over a few things. Like I said, fam, we'll have a Cowboy podcaster popping up. It'll probably be close to the weekend. We had to basically kind of work around a couple of guys' schedules. But our regular podcaster couldn't make it this time, so we had to use a different person. So that'll be popping up probably on the weekend. We're still working out the time frame on that. I'll let you guys know. All right, so big ups to the rest of the fam for being here. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is what we call our hurricane stream. And we in this thing, as you can see on the stream, live right now. Yeah, and that'll do it that'll be the end of the Saints broadcast there. We heard from Derek Carr, we heard from Demario Davis, and ultimately we heard from the head coach, Dennis Allen, giving us some game about what was going on with the I look at Dennis Allen's face. Oh man, I just moved it to that spot. Let me get it off that guy. I'm looking like he a relative of he's one of Gomer Powell's people. Let me kind of move it to a different spot, man. There you go. He look like he's I don't know. That one looks a little weird. Let me kind of bounce it to something else right there. All right, that's better. That second image looked like he's about to go dance on the cloud somewhere. All right, so anyway, big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed, man. Listen, that was the end of the press conferences there. Let me share this, guys, with you, man. This is something that we seen here, man. Let me share this with you guys. Hold on here. Give me just a second. I want to share this with you guys. I seen somebody sent me this on Twitter, man, with this guy right here, man, giving everybody, giving the players his thoughts on what they need to do. Here y'all seen this?
You doing good? Yeah, you got, look, I'm gonna show you, I used to play quarterback. I used to be a quarterback in high school. Okay. You could be a middle linebacker. Okay. In college. Okay. Let me give you something. Yes, please. Boom, you plant. Slang that sucker. That's the one to slang it. Slang it. Good game. Good game, though. Appreciate you. Good game. Absolutely. I'm gonna do that. I got you. In Pee Wee ball, I used to play quarterback. I want to show you this move. When you hit, when they get hit, so they won't call it PI. Slick, hand on the thigh. You know that's a real move, right? Hand on the thigh, they ain't gonna catch it. Next time you shoot that tackle, you gotta come out of there. You know how to do it. I seen you do it. You feel me? I gotta remove it to help you get off the line. Now don't draw the flag. Don't tell him I told you that. Huh? Hand on the thigh. What a hand is? Man, watch out. You look at him. Man, do you all? Did you know what I'm about to do? Try that next game. It's gonna be 58%. Who that?
Oh man, that's funny. I don't know who this brother is, man, but he a funny guy, man. That was pretty funny, man. Here, hand on the thigh. And Demario Davis standing up there like, dude, for real, you gonna tell me? But see, they so humble. You gotta, get shout out to Carr and Demario and Alante Taylor and Rashid Shaheed for humoring this guy. These are professionals that get taught by professional coaches, but he just giving them perspective. He just goes right into it. And they were cool, man. You know what I'm saying? They was cool. Derek Carr, they kind of played along with it. It was like, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, that was too funny. All right. Anyway, man, big ups to y'all, man. Salute to you guys. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. What's up, son of God? Anthony, how you doing? Family said we need to win this from Q. No doubt about it. Notorious B.I.G. says run the ball straight at Mika. That's how you beat them. And do not leave Mika and Penning alone 1v1. All right. All right, April say he's a comedian. Okay, he's funny as hell, man. Yeah. Ryan said that dude is hilarious. Yeah, that was pretty fun, man. That was pretty cool seeing that, man. I just wanted to share that with y'all, man, because that made me laugh. Somebody sent it to me, and I was like, man, I got to share this with the family. That's too funny, man. Lewis says, I think the Saints spend a lot of time and energy posturing as a good team. Now they are, so they can just chill and answer questions. He also says Dennis Allen is talking like a real coach. Something shifted this year. Yeah, it's called the power of pressure and the power of the gun because he's currently under it. It'll make you change. It'll make you break routine. When you're facing finality, a lot of stuff gets to shaking and turning that wouldn't if you were comfortable. That was the problem with the Saints in year number 2 under Dennis Allen. Too comfortable, didn't make any changes, was stubborn. But when you're under the gun and when that pressure, and you've seen what that pressure did to Mickey Loomis at the end of the season press conference, you look how it had his eyes bucking and bulging, face flush, couldn't it just ridiculous comments and comparisons. Pressure do that to you. Well, to some people, because if you're trying to BS somebody, that pressure is warranted. Like, and also here, don't let people who were saying, oh, the Saints were fine in year 1 and in year 2 and all this kind of stuff. Don't let them forget that when they come and say, I told you. No. Don't let them play that game. Check them on every twist and turn because you'll have people that'll try to do that and try to talk about this, that, and the third. No, the Saints are turning around because of the pressure of the people that were questioning what they were doing, not the ones that was going along with it. There's no pressure from people just going along to get along game. There is no pressure in that. The pressure, don't let people take credit for what you did. That was you out there saying, hey, man, we're not playing this with you. Don't forget that. And don't let them cycle back and say, hey, man, see, I told you. Now don't let them do that, man, because they'll play these little funny games with you like that. But don't have a memory and remember, don't let them play with you like that. It was because of you questioning what was going on with the team and not going along with the team with losing and off-code behavior and all this kind of stuff and calling it out. That's when the pressure comes. You wake up enough people, change happen. The guys that's going along with it never have nothing. It never is in any part of any change or anything. These are the bandwagoners that jump on after you done did the work, the heavy work. That's always the case. They, like back in the day with the civil rights movement, they had a bunch of people sitting their ass on that porch. I'm not going to do that. They sat on a porch, and a certain percentage of people went out there. They put that work in. And then when they got it going, then them people got up off that porch and went out there and started doing it when it was good and going. That's just how it is. Just don't let them play with you on that. That's all I'm saying. All right, Michael, thank you, man. Appreciate you guys for the super chat.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Yeah, but that brother was real funny, man. Appreciate y'all. What's up, brother Claude? How you doing, fam? Appreciate you as well. All right, Anthony, big ups to you as well. King Early says, Donis says, Goat Mahomes about to get another one. Okay, we got a Chiefs family member up in here. All right, appreciate you, King Early, but you are too early right now on that. A lot of things can happen between now and then, my friend. A lot of things. All right, here Trump says DA should bring in comedians and celebrities. He changing it up. He brought in a motivational speaker. He's loosening up, man, because people wasn't responding to that. The culture was bad. That's why it was losing. You got to look at your locker room and you got to look at yourself because the coach he the one that sets the overall mentality of the team. He is the head of the team. If he has a bad mentality or an inconsistent or non-persistent approach to things, the team will mirror that image. That's how it goes. Like you can have all the talent in the world, but it ain't going nowhere unless the coach knows how to use his talent properly. That's how it goes. And the man, he changed. He had to get with the accountability model, which was what myself and others was saying. You got to be accountable in this type of stuff to win. Because there's too many teams that's on code that'll beat you if you're not. And non-accountability fractures and dissolves your team. It really does, man. We've seen a lot of that happen the first year. We've seen some of it toward the back end that contributed to close losses while the Saints couldn't get over the hump. You heard what Elvin was saying. You heard what Laddie Daddy was saying. So, I mean, in the end, he changed some things, man. He changed himself. He's still doing some off code shit. That whole Spencer Rattler thing. I don't like that at all. I'll be honest with you on that, but it is what it is. All right, King Chosen one says, season starts Sunday. If we win the next 4, I will be crip walking. Okay. T says, facts, because they knew we was on our last leg and they still know we're not satisfied. Indeed, that's when it comes. You gotta, fam, don't go alone to get along. That's that's what's happening nowadays. And I'm glad to see a lot of the people out there. They're really getting on the, putting pressure under these political people feet. They putting pressure on all this stuff. People are like, okay, enough is enough. We don't like how this is going. We about to flip the game. We about to change this. And when that happens, when people get frustrated enough, you see great change happen, and things stay the same because complacency. Complacency is terrible. It's awful. When you become complacent, you basically are you're dying. If you're not if every day is not a step toward progress, like if you're getting smarter, faster, better, healthier, if every day is not a step toward that, then what are you doing it for? Then if you're not progressing in some way every day, in some way, form, or fashion every day, you're going backwards, you're dying. Every day, it's a journey. And it's a step every day. Sometimes more steps, sometimes less. You might get a half a step, but a half a step is still better than no step at all. You got to keep moving. If you're not moving, you are dying. That's how this will go. That's why you can't smash your ass all the time. You got to be exercising, moving, eating better. You got to do this. You sit down for like you have an old fella that worked for years. He starts sitting down during retirement. That man going to be out of here just like that. You can't do that. You got to keep moving. Real talk. All right. Thank you, fam. All right. Adrian says this system is set for Derek Carr to be successful and take pressure off of Dennis Allen. Now eyes are on Kubiak, and he handled it well. OG, what's happening, baby? Says Q, glad you're doing this early before something happens later with Francis. Yeah, man. I wanted to talk at y'all, man. Just don't let the family member know we all good. And we good, man. We good. All right, Anthony saying nothing changed until we beat teams with winning records. All right, that's right. Anthony's on his game. Anthony, you know what? Anthony sound like a few people. Anthony on this right here. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah, man. If I could sing like that, man, I wouldn't be doing podcasts, man. Yeah. All right, what's up, brother Larry? Shout out to you, King Chosen, man. Chosen One says, man, I'm worried because if we do, we will lose Kubiak for a head coaching spot. Bro, if he leaves, we got Andrew Janoko. One way or the other, we're going to keep winning this thing. We're going to move this thing along one way or another. He might want to stay for a few more years because he doesn't seem like a guy that liked to jump around. Now, he had a few stops. But if he feels comfortable here because he has the right quarterback, the right system, the right weapons, then he might be more inclined to stay. But everything is based in a short time frame here because the brass wants to see what we do here. If they fail, then you can see some changes happening. If they succeed, then you could be more promoted or, to kind of take certain guys and kind of piece this team together and see if they can go even further. So, I mean, it's all based on what we do this year. But yeah, if he goes, bro. That's just what it is, Yeah, Stack. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. You got the water, man. Even when water is calm. Y'all seen calm water? And when we drive over the causeway, man, we see that water moving. And then we see days when that water is calm, look like ice is out there. That's how calm it is, but it's still moving. It's all you got to be in a constant state of movement, man. Like you might rest and then move on. But when you got to make sure that you're progressing, not just physically, because the physical emulates everything that is spiritual and everything that is mental. The physical plays out as the end result of those processes. And if your mind is, that's why oftentimes when you go to hospitals and you're dealing with people that's dealing with sicknesses, a lot of time the hospitals try to keep them in a positive frame of mind because they understand that it starts there. Good health starts here. If you speak in it and you do it, then you speak in it and then spiritually get that deep inside of you, the body will then just get rid of whatever's in there. They can't explain it because all they got the technology to a degree, But a lot of this cannot be explained by a lot of the technology because it's limited. Regardless of how good it is, it's still very limited. It's still very, and they're still trying to, still trying to understand how was it, how are you designed? You know, how is that? And then you go out in the universe, see all the order, and they say there's no God. These smart people, the Neil deGrasse Tyson's supposed to be saying that there's nothing, all this kind of stuff, and that everything was created by an explosion and all this kind of stuff. And there's not a grand architect somewhere. How everything, it is just, they set out a religion to prove that there is no creator. That's ridiculous, man. It is absolutely ridiculous. Your technology is limited. So is your understanding if you are in that. Because they're still trying to figure out, well, how did he do it? You never figure it out, man, because your understanding is limited. That's like the old saying that your arms are too short to box with God. But in the end, like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. People got to get it, man. A walking miracle and don't know you're a miracle. A walking miracle. Do you really know who you are and what's inside of you and what you put together? And people out here depressed, oppressed, suppressed, not understanding that you are divine walking around here, that everything you need, all power is within you. All you have to do is understand and wake it up. People don't listen to these idiots out here. They don't know what they're talking about. Elevate yourselves mentally, spiritually. DGS says Spencer Rattler not being QB2 bothers the hell out of me. It should, bro, because it's a violation. It's a violation of principles based on what they are telling you. It's a hypocritical action that he should be. The man outright won the competition. He's not asking for nothing. He won the job, but yet he's not the guy simply because he's popular with the family base. And that will pose or put pressure, unwanted pressure, if he starts throwing interceptions upon the starting quarterback. So a idea had to be grafted, a plan had to be grafted by the head coach to separate the two, create a buffer situation. Well, Hayner's here, Carr's here, and Rattler's the third guy, emergency quarterback, even though he outcompeted that guy. He won the job. That's why it's like that. And I told you that. I told people that. Put one in the chat. I said it before it happened. I called it the protection matrix, as I called it. Then, because I know Dennis Allen, I know how Dennis Allen operates. That's why Dennis Allen, to a degree, understood and knew that he wanted everything, the accountability model, to fly through Clint Kubiak, Andrew Janoko, and all those guys on the offensive side of the ball, because he doesn't quite have it like that. That's why he wanted it to filter through the team. This is what he said in the prior press conference. When it's several weeks or so after the hiring of him, he wanted the accountability to flow from the offense down through the rest of the team. That's what he said. We were sitting there saying, well, how is that possible? Why isn't it supposed to come from the coach? The coach is off code. That whole the Spencer Rattler thing was an off code move. Those create fractures in the team. They micro fractures that become big fractures. Always small things become big things. Isn't that how it goes? And that was very off code. So yeah, I don't like it at all. All right. Anyway, so let's keep it moving, man. Let's go on to some of this Cowboy stuff here, man. Let me cover a few news notes and items here. This is coming from Last Word on Sports. I'm sorry. Saints legend could receive free agent interest from Raven Chargers. So they're talking about, well, Michael Thomas. No NFL contracts are no longer protected for vested veterans. Two-time All-Pro wide receiver Michael Thomas could find a home in the coming days. According to the article, first time in his career, Michael Thomas was a free agent during week 1 of the NFL season. A record, he says, a second-round pick in 2016. Thomas spent early years establishing himself as one of the game's greatest receivers. Over 1,100 yards as a rookie before recording 3 consecutive 100-catch seasons. From 2017 to 2019, he led the league in receptions for 378 and yards for over 4,200 yards with 23 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Thomas' time at the top of the NFL would not last, as injuries essentially took away 3 years of his career. After playing in 10 games from 2010 to 2022, Thomas stayed somewhat healthy in 23, appearing in 10 games. The wide receiver recorded 39 catches for 448 yards and a touchdown. While he looked as a decent third option in the passing attack, it wasn't enough to save his job. Thomas was cut after the season, and he's still a free agent as of this posting. However, this could change soon, as teams have the incentive to sign older receivers after week 1. Michael Thomas is a vested veteran, which means his base salary will be fully guaranteed if he was on an NFL roster in week number 1. Considering his extensive injury history, no team wants to place too much faith in Thomas. However, now that it's officially week 2, Thomas as a free agent without worrying about guaranteed money, several teams could use wide receiver Michael Thomas, but the Baltimore Ravens and Chargers might make the most sense. Ravens, Chargers could target Michael Thomas based on week 1 performance. Zay Flowers will lead the Ravens wide receivers in targets by a considerable margin. Lamar Jackson targeted the first round pick 10 times against the Chiefs, but those opportunities only resulted in 6 catches for 37 yards, while Jackson himself didn't have the best game. Flowers may be the type of player who's better when surrounded by other talented pass catchers. While it's too late to add a superstar, Michael Thomas could be the best free agent available and is an ideal fit for this offense. Think about that, right? Historically speaking, the Ravens prefer to have a veteran wideout provide some support as a decent option in the passing attack. Odell Beckham filled the role last year as the wideout, finished the long season with 35 catches, 565 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The Ravens never found a proper free agent replacement, but Michael Thomas could easily match that production in the offense. Nobody's asking him to recapture his 2019 form, but he should welcome the opportunity to join one of the game's most best offenses while with the reigning NFL MVP. Or how about the Chargers? Chargers beat the Raiders with Harbaugh preferred style of play. The team ran the ball well, played solid defense, and ultimately limited Gardner Minshew and company to 10 points. This might be enough to beat a lowly Raiders squad, but they'll need more than their passing game to match up with the elite AFC team. Second round pick Ladd McConkey looked good in his debut, but the rest of the receivers were as advertised. And that's not a good thing. Michael Thomas is the best free agent available, and it could probably start right away for a lackluster group. With DJ Chalk on injury reserve, somebody need to step up as a veteran option in this passing attack. Stylistically speaking, Chalk and Michael Thomas are polar opposites, but the free agent could provide Herbert with a reliable set of hands with a difficult path to the playoffs. What more could the Chargers ask for? So this is not a bad item. Just throwing that out there about Michael Thomas. Could Michael Thomas be landing on a team soon? I'm pretty sure they got a few teams looking at him, right? All right, and this is a few things here to talk about. The Saints are bringing back Shamar Jean Charles, according to league sources right here, Luke Johnson. SJC had a nice camp with the Saints and had a practice squad spot open with the Browns signed Kaliki Hudson. So there you go. They're bringing back Shamar Jean Charles to fill that spot that the Browns pilfered Kaliki Hudson from the Saints on. All right, let's move on and let's just kind of dig into some of this stuff here with the Cowboys preview and talk about Cowboys talk. If y'all got any questions, please feel free to place it in the chat. Yes, indeed, and this is true too. Frankie Beverly from Mays, one of my favorite old school groups, he passed away today. So we had James Earl Jones passed away. What was that, yesterday? The voice of Darth Vader, the voice of CNN, King Jaffe Jafar, and the Jack Johnson story, and the evil Snake King from the first Conan movie when he had that wig on, it was just all kind of roles. He passed away the other day, and now Frankie day before. Okay, thank you, J Rock. Yeah, I knew it was close, man. He just passed away, and now Frankie Beverly of Mays, who was a phenomenal group, one of my favorite all-time groups, he passed away. I think I was hearing reports that he was kind of sick, and one of my favorite all-time Mays songs is "We Are One." He gave the world. They just were Frankie Beverly, man, just awesome, man. The voice of Mufasa, yes, indeed, yeah. But now Frankie Beverly, man, rest in power to Frankie Beverly, the voice of Mays, man. Could you imagine, man? A lot of the greats are moving on to a higher life, man. So rest in power to that brother, and my condolences to his family, because we love Mays and Frankie Beverly, man. They were awesome, bro. And especially down here, man. They just did the last Mays concert that was down here recently, and it was slam jam packed. Everybody was dressed in white. I had got the notification late. I wanted to go, and there was an announced concert the last time they will be performing at Essence. Was it Essence? It was I think it was Essence, and everybody was dressed in white going to see him perform for the last time, and then the man passed away here. So yes, indeed, man. All right, so let's kind of move into the preview talk now. For some of the family members, yeah, Southern Girl, that was a good one. Yeah, like that one too. Yeah, y'all put y'all favorite Maze songs in the chat, man. We Are One, Southern Girl, Golden Time of Day. Oh man, and there was just a lot of ones that wasn't radio hits that I liked, because I have the Maze anthology, but there were other albums that had songs that didn't make it to the radio that was really good too. Feel That You're Feeling. I Want to Thank You. Is that the name of the song? I Want to Thank You. I want to say that's one. I don't know if that's the name of one. Oh man, but there were so many of them. I can't call it. It's so many of them, man. Before I Let Go. Yes. Back in Stride Again. Back in Stride Again. Yeah. The Lady of Magic, King Chosen One is not Lady of Magic. Y'all remember that one? Put one in the chat. Y'all remember? I'm just tripping, y'all. That Maze, man. That was the group, man. We was raised on Maze, man. My children I raised my children on Maze. They don't know what it is, but they know I play a lot of it. When they listen to what you playing, they like it. So, but yeah, the Lady of Magic. Yeah, they were terrific, man. Terrific. All right. But yeah, the Cowboys matchup, man. For the family members, our Patreon champions and our YouTube membership family, man, we had the TSC live song. I'm thinking of Maze. The show rather that we did. Yeah, I did it yesterday, but I had some tech issues, so I uploaded it for today. But it was an hour, and I want to say almost an hour and a half show. It was maybe not that long, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. But it was basically a recap to a degree. We went over the latest stuff. We talked about the snap counts. We talked about the motion, how the Saints are listed as one of the top teams in terms of motion and pre-snap motion, stuff like that. We talked about that. We did a video recap, broke down the tape, and also we did a kind of a preview of the Saints Cowboys, but we used the Browns. We looked at the Browns tape and kind of did a scout on the Browns tape with the Cowboys. And what I noticed about it was that they defeated the Browns just similar to what the Saints defeated the Carolina Panthers. Now, it was a three segment performance by Dallas, like it was for the Saints. Saints were excellent special teams wise. Dallas was too. Dallas had a kick return when there was a punt return for a touchdown with Turpin. And they also had their kicker had 4 for 4 kicking the ball too. He was hitting them from different spots on the field. The Browns actually did a pretty good job defensively of stopping the Cowboys from scoring. They only scored 2 offensive touchdowns. The rest of it was field goals. The Browns defense was forcing the Dallas Cowboys offense to kick field goals. That's what they were doing. They put the special teams out there. They allowed 2 touchdowns. It was a rushing touchdown by Zeke Elliott, and it was a passing touchdown on a blown coverage play that went from Dak to Brandon Cooks in the end zone off a blitz play that went wrong. So offensively speaking, they didn't do a fantastic job against Cleveland Browns defense, but you had the defense for the Dallas Cowboys that really flustered and just beat Deshaun Watson down. He was sacked 6 times. They did a phenomenal job in coverage. And then Watson didn't help himself in there. And like I break it all down on the Patreon and the YouTube, so I won't go too much into it. But he didn't help himself in that game. There was times where if you watch the film, he should have just ran. The lanes were open, scramble. He's trying to stand in there and throw something. No, if you don't see something, get your ass out of that pocket. You got a pair of wheels, use them and keep doing it until they spy you. And that'll be one less guy that's in coverage. But that's not what happened. And really, their offense didn't do nothing for the first half. They finally got going in the second half, and by the time they got going, it was too late. Dallas had a kick return for a touchdown. They had 4 field goals to go along with that. And then on top of that, the defense was getting after them, forcing turnovers and sacking them 6 times. And there were plays where they were roughing them up so much the guy's eyes started to drop. And you could see Dak Prescott was getting knocked down and knocked around too, but Dak's tough. Dak was standing in the pocket and making the throws. Deshaun Watson had a play where there were guys coming at him. He had time to throw the ball, but he didn't throw the ball or look upfield because his eyes dropped and he started paying attention to the pressure. And he was having time. So anyway, I ain't gonna go too far in there, but what I'm saying is there were holes in rust. It was a rust factor. You can see that the Cleveland Browns are a lot more difficult than what a Carolina Panther team would be. Of course, you have Myles Garrett and other players. They actually were doing a good job of stopping Dallas Cowboys, from doing what they were doing. So looking at that, and I was saying to myself, hey man, this team is still they looked, even though it was a complete effort, the smoothness of the game in terms of what I seen with Dallas was different than what I seen from the Saints. The Saints looked like a 4-week team. What I mean by that, looked like the Saints had already played 4 games and a month worth of regular season football Sunday, didn't they? Did you see any rust factor dealing with the Saints Sunday? There was 0 rust factor. They came out of the gate smooth, polished, confident, and they executed it confidently, smooth, organically. Everything flowed magnificently. I'm not saying they're going to do that in the second week, but I'm saying they didn't have any rust. And usually the Saints come out and they start the seasons pretty decently. The energy's there. Now, what I seen by Dallas, I did see some rust. And the fact of the matter is their rushing attack isn't all that. Now I'm not going to underestimate, Zeke Elliott, because he still has some get up and go in him. But you have to be very careful about certain people on that offense, and they know how to get the best of them. Like, for instance, CeeDee Lamb in the Browns game, he had 3 carries and he averaged, I think, about 8 yards a carry off of 3 carries like a running back on one of the plays where he went into motion, and right after the snap, the ball was handed to him from behind the line of scrimmage, and he just was able to bend the corner and pick up yardage that way. So they do a good job of sneakily sneaking CeeDee Lamb into their offense, whether it's all those motion handoffs, you see, or lining him up in the slot. They move him, they play him outside, they line him up in the slot, they move him around very intelligently to create mismatches. They're very good at doing that. And then, not to mention, Brandon Cooks is another dude that will sneak you. He will get one on you. So, and then, like I said, Dak Prescott, a lot of people downgrade Dak, but listen, I like Dak Prescott. He's a tough quarterback that's seen a lot of football. He stands tall in that pocket. And even if you knocking him around and you beat up on him, Dak stands in there and he delivers the ball, and the Saints will have to bring it against this Dallas Cowboys team. They're going to have to bring it because Dak, CeeDee Lamb, those guys are for real. They got very good, they got a solid offensive line too. The running attack is a committee approach type situation. They used to have Zeke when he was really balling, and then he got up out of there. Tony Pollard is going, so they kind of using Rico Dardell and Zeke Elliott and throwing CeeDee Lamb in there as like a running back by committee approach. And all together with those guys, last game against the Browns, they had about 100 yards rushing. But like I said, if you look at the game with Dak Prescott, he made the plays. He had 1 touchdown. He had 1 running attack, 14 points from the offense, and everybody else, the special teams, had a touchdown return, as well as field goals, 4 field goals that put the game at 33-17, I think it was. So what I'm saying is, based on what I'm seeing, I definitely think they'll change a bit. But when you look at the defense of this team, they got a lot of players on that team that's going to defensively, they're going to try to get after you with the front 4. Micah Parsons is the dude that is opponent number 1. But Lawrence, the other dude, is not nothing to laugh at. They have some players on the defense. They're opportunistic. And when you go up there, that crowd is going to be crazy. And remember, this is not going to be a regular game. The Atlanta Falcons are seen as the Saints' most hated rival. And this is true. The second one is the Dallas Cowboys. It really is. You got one going east in Atlanta, one going west is Dallas. That is a rivalry. Probably the second one. It used to be we used to throw the 49ers in there when they was in the old NFC West, but Dallas is definitely the second hated rival. So it's going to have some nastiness in it when we go up there and play them. But this is a susceptible team. And remember, they're not in 4-week regular season form. A lot of these teams that we're going to play are, usually take 3 to 4 weeks to discover on who they are. But if the Saints really, man, it really needs to be hammered home that if we're going to have any success against the Dallas Cowboys, the Saints cannot have a comedy of errors and miscues and all of this stuff. We cannot have that. We cannot go up there and turn that football over. We got to hold on to the football. We have to play a smart and disciplined game going to Dallas because they're very opportunistic. Derek Carr did a phenomenal job in week number 1, but he has a different group of pass rushers that will be coming at him. We even showed some of that in the Patreon, how Trevor Penning and Tali Fuaga were out there blocking. Hell, Chris Olave was out there blocking, helped setting up. The wide receivers was blocking. I mean, did y'all see Foster Monroe out there blocking in the game? If you go and look at the tape, it shows Foster was out there. He had a magnificent game blocking. He did that touchdown, and then, of course, the catch he made on the sideline where he banged his head on the turf and he was concussed. We got to figure out what goes on there. But in the end, the Saints had the right mentality. And what needs to be done against Dallas is simple. The Saints need to run the football. That's what created this type of situation in week number 1. We had 100. Do not get lost in that. The Saints had 180 yards rushing the ball against the Carolina Panthers, who's supposed to be a defense that's good at stopping that. Carr threw for 200, but you put it together. That was a good balanced attack. If the Saints are running the football and play action Carr is involved, even the statistics, I showed that on Patreon and YouTube for the Fallon members. Because Dennis Allen didn't even know what kind of success. Remember he said that in the put one, if y'all remember that, he's like, your girl asked him that, Kate. Her name Mary? What's the lady from I forgot the lady. I'm mixing her up. But the lady that we like that used to be on NFL.com. Established show. Is it Kate? Is it Kate? Kay asked Dennis Allen that on one of remember the recent pressers before the season started? Kay was doing all of the training camp stuff. And she came here and she interviewed Derek Carr, Cam Jordan, and Dennis Allen. And she asked him about that aspect of last year, what she seen from Carr, and Dennis Allen was like, I don't know. We just started playing better. No, it's play action Carr. It's play. And I've called it that. To pinpoint exactly what the success, the best version that we want to see, or when you have Carr in the proper role, it's in the play action. They had a guy wrote a splendid article. I covered it on the Patreon of listing all of the statistics based on the positive plays the Saints were doing with Carr out of the goddamn play action. He's an excellent play action quarterback. I kept saying that. You want to see play action Carr, you got to run the football. You run the football how the Saints ran it when Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill were separately averaging 7 yards a carry. Then Jamal Williams comes in there and averages 5 yards a carry. Come on. If you're doing that and play action is involved, Carr is going to shine. That he is a very good play action quarterback. He's a good complement quarterback to the run. Not one that leads the offense before. He's not like pass before the run. No, run before the pass and have him complementing it that way. And you're going to get the best guy you ever seen. If you do that with him, you're going to get 4,000 yards plus on the season. I wouldn't be surprised if he shot past the totals that he did with John Gruden. Because if he's on time and he's operating like that, that guy is going to run through 4,000 yards in this season. He'll get 4,500 yards this year with 30 damn touchdowns. If you running it like that, because it's basically showing you that if whether it's Elvin, Taysom, or Jamal, they're going to get chunk yardage. You talking about 5 yards of carry from Jamal Williams, who was operated as the third running back with Taysom as 2 and Elvin as 1. Look how they all look, because everybody's in their proper roles. Everybody's in their proper roles. We're relying in how we're supposed to rely on our players. Everybody's in their proper roles. We're relying on our best offensive player in Elvin Kamara, one of our most dangerous players in Taysom Hill. Taysom was met at the line of scrimmage by a defensive guy. Not only did the guy met Taysom at the line of scrimmage, but Taysom broke the tackle, broke another tackle from the linebacker at the second level, then twisted and turned his way into a first down and then some. That's what he gets. When you run in Taysom Hill, you're not going to stop Taysom Hill one-on-one. It takes 2 people at least to bring him down. And then when he gets to the DB level, it's hard to bring him down. They don't want to tackle him because he's fast. He's fast as a defensive back, physical, and loves contact. And you add him in a mixture with Elvin Kamara, where you got a speed, then power component, and then you can move him around and create mismatches, then bring Jamal Williams in there to pummel you. So it's one of the Kay Adams is who we talking about. Yeah, there you go. It's Kay Adams. Thank you, Gundam. She asked Dennis Allen about that. He didn't know. He's like, we just started playing better. No, it's all about getting these guys in the proper positions to win. And the Saints are finally doing that. Thanks a lot to the fact that Clint Kubiak is doing this stuff. He knows who can run what in his system. John Benton said it. John Benton, offensive line coach, says, yes, we have the proper guys to run this system. You start seeing these guys operating with the run. You need athletic, big offensive linemen that can move. The Saints showed that. You even seen Saint wide receivers out there blocking, Chris Olave blocking, Rashid Shaheed out there blocking. He moving around, running past guys is supposed to be good. I mean, just unbelievable. Against this team here, man, this is who some people consider one of the top 5 of the power teams, if you won't call them that, in the NFC. A lot of people, even Jim Mora, the playoffs, Jim Mora said that he considers the Saints either a 7th or 8th best team in the NFC. I was like, really? And this is coming from usually a very delusional. He actually delusional. That's it. I don't agree with that shit. I was like, what? But that's because the Dennis Allen effect. People don't believe in Dennis Allen. It's not the fact that they don't believe in the team. It's Dennis Allen they don't believe in. That's why the expectations of the team and what they're going to do is severely, tamped down. Is because people don't believe in Dennis Allen. That's what it comes down to. So the team suffers because of that to a degree. But we got to understand that if Dennis Allen stays out of the way, he doesn't meddle, and he allows Clint Kubiak to do what he does, the Saints should have success here. They should have success offensively and continue to have success if he pays attention to his defense. And like I said, this is a very unique experiment that they're running. Can this compartmentalized style team be able to have a deep playoff run where you have different, you got, I'm just do this, you go do that, and such, because he don't really, even though he's called the head coach, he kind of just lets everybody do their thing, which I guess is a positive up to a point. Like if they start struggling, you got to go over there and say, hey, you okay? You need something? You need me to go and get you something? You need another offensive lineman or something like that? Well, no, coach, we good. We got this guy here. Okay, just let me know. All right. If you need something, let me know. I'm going to be over here. You get me? As opposed to just what Mickey Loomis did to Dennis Allen in year 2. It's just like, let him burn there. Oh, hold on. You need anything? Well, listen, I'm going to go close my goddamn door here. I'm going to play some Chinese checkers. Oh, yeah, I got a mean, spicy clam chowder in here. And I got some gourmet orange juice to go along with that. I had it just imported from France. Hey, go in there and eat your shit. Leave us alone. But yeah, this is one of the things that we have to understand. Like, we're going against the Dallas Cowboys, man. And the Dallas Cowboys are a team that has a ton of talent. They're going to try. And like in Zimmer, you can't listen. Watch out for Zimmer. who is the defensive coordinator there for the Cowboys. Now, Zimmer is not too good of a head coach, but as a defensive coordinator, he's very talented, very talented. And he has people, even though they got some really good players that are actually hurt right now, like Sam Williams and all these other guys that's banged up, that's not playing. But if you look at what Micah Parsons is and how he utilizes Micah Parsons, and they got Eddie Kendricks there. He kind of banged up, but he's still effective. Overshown, who had double-digit tackles against the Browns. He's a person that you have to watch out for flying over the field. Good tackler, guy that plays well in coverage. So they have people that you have to be concerned about, as well. Plus Ferguson, the tight end, is also a problem. He's a good blocking guy that can catch the ball too. He's banged up, had an injury. He's not ruled out of the game. He's still supposed to play in the game according to what they're saying now. This could change later on. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, this is an interesting game for the Saints. Like I said, we'll have a Cowboy personality to come here on more than likely on the weekend and preview the game and give us some more game about their squad. Kind of a look on the aside the enemy lines. But from what when I was looking and I did film work on the Dallas Cowboys and looking at how they beat Cleveland in Cleveland, the offense had some struggles. The Cleveland Browns defense did enough to shut them down. They held them to 2 touchdowns, but the special team scored a touchdown on the return and had 4 field goals. That helped boost the lead up. So if you're the New Orleans Saints, you got to put pressure on Dak. And listen, they got to stop the running attack. And we know that the running attack is seen as kind of weak because they're doing they don't have a featured back there. I know Zeke Elliott's there, but it's a lot of people see him past his prime, but he still can hurt you. But it's all really Dak Prescott, man. And then they have to figure out what to do with CeeDee Lamb. So Marshawn Lattimore dealing with his own issues. We'll see what's going on with Laddie Daddy. We know what time it is with him. There was some, I think they were talking about him not being there. I think I just seen the tweet from Brother Ross. He had one where he was talking about people that they didn't see at practice. And he mentioned, I think Lattimore was one of the people that and I think Dennis Allen even talked about him, that he was dealing with something. So in the end, what we got to do as a team, Ross says A.T. Perry, tight end Dalen Hawker, linebacker Jalen Ford were all present and participating. Injury report will have more info, but good to see them back. Hawker and Ford have potential to make their NFL debuts this weekend. And I think he didn't have anything. I don't think they seen Marshawn. I had that up here. I don't know what the hell happened to it. Yeah. Hold on, give me just a second, fam. Let me make sure. Because I had somebody else sent me something. Yeah, he said Foster Moreau and Willie Gay were both in attendance for the Saints practice today. We'll see what extend when the injury report releases in a bit. He said not seen. Lattimore wasn't seen. Kaliki Hudson is gone. Somebody got him off the practice squad. It was Washington. DeMarco Jackson and Lucas Patrick were not seen in the portion of practice that was open to the team. So that's shout out to Ross Jackson tweeting that out, man, as well. And like I said, later on today, they'll have the actual Wednesday injury report. I just looked. It's not out yet, where they'll just kind of give us a list of the injuries and stuff going on like that there. All right. So anyway, if y'all got any questions, fam, please feel free to throw them in the chat as well about this team. But yeah, I do think, family, I'm gonna be quite honest with you on this whole situation involving the Dallas Cowboys team. I'm not gonna even much try to like crap talk these people. My thing is this. I think it's going to be a very difficult matchup because a lot of people consider this team, as I put this on screen, I just want to make sure I keep that up there. Yeah, a lot of people consider the Dallas Cowboys as one of we talked about the Power 4 or 5. Let me finish my thought on that. Is that a lot of people think the San Francisco 40, if you're talking about the best teams in the NFC, we don't care about the AFC. We talking NFC. That's what we are. The top 4 or 5 teams in the NFC are considered the 49ers at the top. And then they throw the Philadelphia Eagles in there. They throw the Detroit Lions in there. Like anything outside of the 49ers is seen as the top team in the NFC. And then you can kind of jumble the order of these particular teams. Detroit, Philly, Dallas. And at one point it was Green Bay until Love got hurt. So we'll see where he is. But of course that drops in. Some people say that Tampa Bay's being disrespected because Tampa Bay done won the NFC South 3 years in a row. And now Atlanta's picked as the team to win with all the pressure. And then Tampa say, hold on, we won it for 3 years. Well, Baker Mayfield still looks good. Hey man, why are you not talking about us? That's fine. Keep doing that. No pressure. Let's keep winning. So people throw them out of the conversation, but those teams are considered outside of Tampa. Those other teams I mentioned are considered the top teams in the NFC. Well, guess what? A couple of those teams you play them. You play the Dallas Cowboys Sunday. You play the Philadelphia Eagles coming up here in a little bit. So you get a couple of those teams this year to see where you are in terms of whether you compete with them. Now, my thought process is, and people say, I don't know about that, Q, because it's the Dennis Allen effect suppresses a lot of the thinking of the team moving forward of if they can compete. A lot of people believe. They don't think, they literally believe that Dennis Allen is the reason why the Saints will not get far. And they have a right to believe it because they on they show me stuff right now. They on they show, you got to show me, and they right to be there. But I'm just telling you that I didn't make it. I'm just telling you that that is there. And that's the reason why a lot of people are skittish, to say the least, about the Saints. But the talent of the Saints is there. It's there. Elvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Chase Young, Carl Granderson, all these guys, on and on and on and on, defense, whatever. The talent is there. Elite level players are there, compete with any team in the NFL if their minds are right and they're prepared. They look good in week one. That was just week one against an inferior opponent. No disrespect to Carolina. But Dallas is a team that's considered one of the top teams in the NFC. And we'll see where we are against this team come up on Sunday. So this is going to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to this. All right, Rich, thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat. Says still holding my judgment queue, still not sold on car. And that's fine, bro. A lot of people, it's like that. One game is not enough, man. Some people, one game is enough to make them say, oh, yeah, I'm back. No. It's a long season. It's a long season. You have to lay this out. You have to do this week after week, week after week. And you have to do it enough where you get into the playoffs and get a win. Try to get a deep playoff run. Get there. The Super Bowl is in your backyard. Hell, it's in your own building. It's in the building you play every home game in. Shouldn't you be there? Shouldn't you be there? That's the point. It's in your building this year. It would be uber disrespectful for the Saints to not step up this year and perform, and Atlanta or another team from the NFC South wins the Super Bowl and they build. We know it ain't gonna be Atlanta because Atlanta gonna screw it up any kind of way. They're gonna fall apart. It's just what they do. They have yet to, and I'm not hating on Atlanta, they have yet to create a mental divide between the past and the present. And as long as they are doing that, and spiritual too, as long as they are not doing that, they will continue to have these games where they fall down, they rise up to fall down. You got to separate between the winning and the losing. You got to create a divide there. That's what Sean Payton did. Sean Payton had mock funeral processions. He brought that voodoo lady in there. He did everything he can to make people understand that there was a divide. I'm now on the team, and there's a divide between this crap past we had and the new beginnings of the future. And people bought into it. They had rumors, the fact that the dome is buried on top of a cemetery, an old Native American burial ground. Is that true? It is true. Yes, it's true. And that those ghosts hunt the team from winning. This is the history of the dome, of the losing of the dome. People know this, diehards know this. And what I'm saying is nothing new. Maybe people who not Saints people or young people who just stepped into Who Dat Nation quite recently might not know the history of their team, but I'm giving you game on that. So Sean Payton was really good at that. He understood that in order to have success in the future, not just for you, because if you have a bunch of people on your team and people that supporting your team, they know, they're quite aware of the history. You have to be able to create a difference between the failure past, the garbage fail ass past, and the promising future. You have to create a divide to them. Until you do that, that old nasty funky past gonna reach its decrepit hand up and pull you down every time you try to rise up. You think they're like, why do we can't seem to do anything right? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's it. That's game. But thank you, Rich. Appreciate you, man, for that.
Thank you. You fuck too kind.
Trying to give them game, fam. They don't want to listen to this old black and gold guy here talking, man. They don't want to. They don't want to listen, man. I'm telling them game, man. Real crap, real stuff, real spit. This is real, man. This is how it works. All right. Big ups to the fam. Gundam says, question, brother Q, any glaring concerns for game Sunday? Glaring concerns. The thing that I see as the number one concern is two people. It's actually three people. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons. Those are the guys you got to do something with. Micah Parsons is going to be a test for Penning, because I'm pretty sure that's who they're going to send him at. Now, listen, Penning has, and I said this before, Penning has the athleticism to compete. He did a wonderful job against Clowney, and whoever they sent at him, he did a really good job. But the Saints have to run the football and let Penning and Tali Fuaga put hands on these guys and drive them out of there. They got to do that. And listen, this offensive system creates problems for Dallas. It does. They have not quite defended the way it's supposed to. And there's been recent examples of when Dallas played teams that ran a similar system, they struggled against it. The Miami Dolphins, they struggled against it. There have been other times, other teams, even against the Niners, they seem defensively to struggle against this style of system. But like I said, Zimmer is another guy you got to throw in there because he'll dial it up. That's the thing. If the Saints are able to run the ball and just put their hands on those guys and drive them out of there, take all the mystique off of them. When Penning sees that he's taking Micah Parsons and driving him into the ground and pancaking him, he's like, oh, yeah, run at that guy. Because even though he's a hell spawn in terms of pass rushing, but how good is he on his run? I know running, could he be able to stay in front of a big guy like Penning, who's 6'5" and 310 pounds, is putting his hands on us with his Micah, 6'1", 6'2", something like that. What is Micah? And pushing him on out of there. I mean, that'll be kind of, yeah, you see what I'm saying? There's a physicality advantage there if we're doing it like that. But the Saints can play with the Dallas Cowboys. They really can. This is not an elite level Dallas Cowboys team. This is a team that doesn't have an elite level running attack. They really don't. And everything is going to be based upon them intelligently and cleverly getting CeeDee Lamb involved in the running attack, as which they did yesterday. They got him on these plays where he went into motion and they gave him the ball. The Saints got to be on that. We got to cover him up and we got to provide the pressure. We could beat this Dallas Cowboys team, man. We really could. But thank you, Gundam, for that question, bro. J-Rock says Mark Sheriff picked the Saints to beat the Cowboys. Mark Sheriff is a smart dude, man. Not just because he picked the Saints to beat the Cowboys, but he understands that if the Saints are running the ball like that, very few teams are going to beat the Saints. The Saints dominated a team that's pretty good at stopping the run. Did you see the film of how they manhandled Derrick Brown? Did you see what Penning did to Derrick Brown? Derrick Brown had 100+ tackles last year for the Carolina Panthers. The only bright spot of the team was the defense. A lot of those guys came back and Brown was better. The Saints basically moved him around like he was on skates, like he was a big ass vending machine that was broke. Let's move it over here and see if it works over here. Move it over there. He was like a giant, like a refrigerator on one of them furniture dollies. That's pretty much how they moved him around on, So, I mean, they did a wonderful job. And I'm not saying, but that in the end, that's a part of the matrix, right? That we got to see those guys do that. And I was very happy to see Penning and Tali Fuaga angrily blocking upfield, not only getting the initial blocker, but keep running and pushing defensive backs down on the ground, just nastily doing it. Yes, right, nastily. I don't think that's the word, but if it ain't, I just coined it. All right, Head Trauma said, you think we'll get Mickey press conference if the team starts 4-0? Absolutely. Mickey Loomis will pop up there. If not on the Saints side, he'll pop up there on WWL. You know, the Saints have a partnership agreement with WWL. That's why WWL never talk shit about them. They'll rank down on the players, but give everybody a free pass, whether it's the coach and everything, who are responsible for the environment that creates disgruntlement from players. The coach is in control of that. He picks which players he wants to keep that environment in which he sets. That's how it is. But they never criticize. That's why I created the Sports Coma some years ago, because I did not like the coverage of the Saints from the national press and how some of the local press people were talking about them. I didn't like it. I didn't. All right. Thank you, Head Trauma. All right. Pammy say I'm good with no one picking us to win. Indeed. No pressure. Tim says, Q, would you be surprised if we win big? I would be surprised if we win big. I would definitely be surprised if we beat the Dallas Cowboys. And when you mean win big, you mean a win similar to what we did Carolina when we beat them 47 to, what was it, 10? Whatever it was. I would definitely be surprised if that was the case. No doubt about it. I would definitely be surprised. But I anticipate this as being a 7-point win for the Saints. That's what I see it as. I see the Saints going in there and running the ball effectively, and the defense doing enough to get at Dak. Because the thing is, like I said, the rushing attack is not all that. All of it's predicated on, it's operated through Dak Prescott, and the offense ingenious way of getting CeeDee Lamb involved from different angles, whether he's out wide as a wide receiver or moved to the slot, or goes into motion to receive a handoff on the end around to the opposite direction. So, I mean, it's based on getting CeeDee Lamb the ball and get him involved in offense. And then every now and again, take shots to their wide receivers, maybe find the tight end there. So, I mean, it's basically, it's the pressure's on Dak. But like I said, the Cleveland Browns defense held them to just 2 offensive touchdowns last week. Just two. The rest of the way they made them kick field goals. Now they hit the field goals, but they held them to 2. Just 2 touchdowns last week. Just throwing that out there. All right. So anyway, Adrian says, yeah, that's true in the dome. Yeah. It is ancestral burial ground. It is. People might not know that, but that's the truth. I'm one of many great think tank historians that know about the team. All right. It's 504 Coast says, Q, who will match up with CD? That's the question, bro. Who match? Marshawn Lattimore is dealing with a injury right now. Like I said, we don't know. We got to see what the report is on what happens with Lattimore. And there it is. It just came out. Hold on. I'm going to share it, which I was talking about it. And they just put it out like 5 minutes ago. Good grief. I was just talking about this. Hold on. Let me put it on the screen. There you go. All right. Injury report. All right, they just released it. 13 New Orleans Saints players were listed on Wednesday's injury report for the team's Week 2 game against the Dallas Cowboys during the 2024 NFL season. Saints. DeMarco Jackson did not play. Marshawn Lattimore, hip and hamstring, did not play. Tyrann Mathieu with a heel issue, did not play. Lucas Patrick with a toe, did not play. Kalen Saunders with that calf, did not play. Jalen Ford with the hamstring was limited. Tali Fuaga had a back issue, limited. Dalen Hawker did do his thing. He was limited with that ankle. Foster Moreau with concussion was limited. Good news for A.T. Perry, who was dealing with a hand issue. A.T. fully practiced. So did Nick Selderberry with his calf issue that he'd been struggling with. Rashid Shaheed had a finger ailment. He fully practiced, and Jamal Williams had a shoulder problem, but he fully practiced. So that's some good news there. Seeing Tali, is going to be all right. Dalen Hawker is another dude we want to see, who brings another dimension to the Saints tight end room. And like I said, I had to give credit to Adam Prentice when we talk about the fullback, the Saints. And like we said, you look at Taysom Hill and say Taysom Hill should be the fullback. He operates in that use check role. Well, the Saints, maybe in the first week against Carolina, probably later on, we'll start seeing some of that stuff roll out. But Prentice did a wonderful job. He was blocking. He knew what he was doing. Last year was different, but that's what happened when you got coaches that are accountable, that teach to you what to do. And if you follow it up, come back and say, no, this is not what we need you to do. We need you to do this, that, and make your role clear. That's what it comes down to. You need to be here when that guy needs to be there. You got me? Yes, sir. All right, go and do it. Because a lot of the run principles, if you're a guy that's good at run blocking, then you will shine in a run blocking system that pinpoints to that idea. And there are a lot of guys on the Saints team that are known to be really good run blockers. Like Penning is known to be a good run blocker. He is. That's what he was bilked out of college as, a really good force and run blocker. He's nasty, push you down, pancake you. Tali Fuaga was mentioned as kind of a balanced approach because he's fast. But both those guys have that. Lucas Patrick is a guy that's known as a run blocking guard before he is known as a pass protector. You get what I'm saying? To the Dallas side, Brandon Cooks was limited. He had a not injury related rest period. Ferguson, the big tight end who starts from had a knee issue, he was DNP'd. So we'll see what happens with him because he's a big part of the offense too. Cornerback CJ Goodwin had a foot issue. He was limited. Eddie Kendricks, the linebacker, he had an interception last week against the Browns. He was limited, had a rest day. Marshawn Nealon, the defensive end, did not play, calf issue. DeMarcus Lawrence, the other really good pass rusher there, he was limited. They were giving these guys rest. The big guard, Zach Martin, was also given a rest day. And backup tight end John Stevens has a hamstring issue. He was DNP'd. So some of their tight ends is kind of banged up. We have to keep an eye on Jake Ferguson going forward to see what happens with that. But there you go, family. That's the Wednesday injury report provided by Saints.com. All right. Anyway, now that we know that, 504, we can kind of look at your question. So Marshawn Lattimore would usually be the guy that you would place on a CeeDee Lamb. If he's, like I said, we'll see where he is going forward. But I would have to hip and hamstrings. It would have to be Paulson or Debo. He would have to slide up and it'll be a Debo on him. And then the thing is, does it really matter? You might have to have a guy that follows him. But if he goes into the slot on certain situations, you might need a guy to follow him there. Could it, like I said, you got to probably put a guy directly on him. And it depends on what kind of formation the Saints are operating with too, that he might try to switch off to what they would consider a matchup issue for him. And that's basically how they use CeeDee Lamb. They just move him around and create mismatches, give him the ball any way they can. Cause the guy's good. He creates positive plays for him and he's just talented. He's really good. So we'll see, man, moving forward, man. If it ain't Laddie Daddy, man, we'll see. But yeah, it could be Alante. Yeah, that's what Aiden says. Yeah, it could be Alante Taylor. Who knows, man? We'll see as we get further into the season, to the week actually, and we'll go from there. What's up, brother Jermaine? How you did, man? All right, yeah. Nola Ballin says, yeah, they didn't play great like everybody's. Yeah, the offense, yeah, because it was a full, and that's the thing when you watch. That's why you go and you watch the footage. Go get a look at it for yourself. And see for yourself that a lot of people, because they led you to believe that the offense was just going out of control. And I'm making reference to Dallas's offense, by the way, not the Saints. But Cleveland has a good defense, and Cleveland was able to make them kick a bunch of field goals. They got 2 offensive touchdowns that whole game, and the rest was special team work. You see, and the defense knocked around Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson had throws and wasn't making the throws. He had time to make throws and was stand back there trying to stare people down so he can make a bomb throw, as opposed to using his feet. He wasn't playing intelligently against the Dallas Cowboys defense because they were sending 4 people at him and they had lanes which he can escape out of. But he would stay back there and stare down and see if he could throw the deep ball, as opposed to doing the smart play, which is using his wheels to get out of trouble, scramble until that forces them to spy him. And then it'll become easier for him to throw the ball because there'll be one less damn person out there in coverage. But he didn't do that. He fed right into the jaws of the defense. He was holding on to the ball too long. And that's one thing I don't want to see the Saints make, that same mistake that Deshaun Watson made. But that offense, Cleveland pinned them down. They did a real good job of pinning them down. All right, Millie says, let's hope the team keeps the same energy for the next few games. By the way, Carr looked like they picked up where they left off from 5 games last year. Play action Carr, bro. Play action Carr. Play action Carr. Join the Patreon or the YouTube membership family, so you can see that, because I showed all that on the stream. Had the video breakdown. We did the video breakdown for the Saints, Panthers, and the Browns Cowboys game. And we talked about how that looks. That's play action Carr. The majority of all those positive plays came out of the play action from Carr. Play action Carr is a real dude. I know people, I'm the one calling him that. I coined it play action Carr because I recognized the best usage of his talent is in a play action role. Not as a primary guy that leads the team, but only in tow of the running attack. We got Elvin Kamara, man. We got to operate with that. Thank you, Millie. All right. Adrian Bond says, hey, Q, do you think Kubiak run Kamara like he did McCaffrey in San Francisco? He would be. I definitely agree with this, man. I agree with this.
Bang! Bang! It's good.
It's all good because at the end of the day, that's the idea. That's why that Clint Kubiak came to the Saints. They asked him, like, why did you come to the Saints? Because of the players. Very quickly, because of the players. What players? Elvin Kamara and others. Taysom Hill, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, others. But Elvin Kamara in particular, because Elvin Kamara could do everything Christian McCaffrey can do. Some believe better. So that's what I was saying and I was trying to goad Mickey Loomis into signing Elvin Kamara prior to the regular season starting, because I knew that Elvin Kamara will flourish in this system. Like we've seen, in all of the greatness that Elvin has done since he's been a Saint, he never had 1,000-yard rushing season. Never. Christian's had several of them. Last year, he led the league in rushing with over 1,400 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. He had 8 catching. He had 60-plus catches and 8 receiving touchdowns on top of that. You don't think Elvin Kamara could do that? Elvin Kamara could do everything Christian McCaffrey can do, and I dare say he can probably do it better. I dare say that. I was saying that shit about Taysom Hill and Juszczyk. You put Taysom in the Juszczyk role, I dare say he does it better than Juszczyk does. The Saints have the skilled players to run this offense and have the same success if we run in the ball like we ran against Carolina. And that's not, and what they were doing, family, is nothing special. That's how it looks when you run it and operate. You're just running the ball on the angle and those players are getting behind you. Elvin Kamara comes out of there and you don't get to him till either at the second level. You see Kamara like he was running like a man possessed. He pissed off with a chip on his shoulder for the contract. So he's going to be motivated to tear the league up. He's going to be motivated to tear the league up. That's why I was like, man, listen, get him signed, because he is going to have the best season of his career in Clint Kubiak's offense. Watch. Clint Kubiak will unleash him and use him in the way that he's supposed to be used, just like the Niners used Christian McCaffrey. Watch. And now we got to pay. Mickey, well, hold on now. I'm a little nervous now after you said that, Q. Oh my God. I should have not paid Pete Werner. I should have saved that money for Elvin, huh? Oh my God. I'm a little scared now. Yeah, you need to be. All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. All right. Jermaine says, Q, I hope we smashed the Cowgirl 60-10. Yeah, Pam, you seen Prentice? Prentice was blocking, man. He was looking good, man, out there. Michael says, I try not to overreact to the first injury report of the week. It's the first. Exactly. That's good, bro. Yeah, it's just all in contract. Taking it in. All right. Kendall says, I don't trust Adebo on Lamb. If that's who you got, brother, because it depends on the philosophy the Saints take, right? Because they're going to move him around. You might see Alante. You might see a couple of people on him. You might see Paulson Adebo on him. You might see Alante Taylor on him. If Laddie can't go, hell, you might see a couple of plays where you see Kool-Aid McKinstry on him. It might be a couple of guys that you see attached to him. But at some point, he has to be the focal of the Saints defense, because you got to get pressure on Dak Prescott, knock him down early and often. And you got to take away his number one weapon, which is CeeDee Lamb. That offense thrives through CeeDee Lamb, man. He's phenomenal. All right. Who that Dallas says, family, I'm still up here fighting these. Yeah, we on the way, brother. Hurry up and help me. All right. Thank you, brother. We'll come up there and slap them down, brother. All right. Rose says, who that Q? Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to you. 504 says Q. We have neutralized Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. Make someone. Yeah. And that would be, you gotta, and that's the part. Like you can't guard everybody. But like I said, man, and then another part of the game is too, if the Saints are running the ball effectively and we're keeping their defense out there, right? That by doing that and controlling the flow of the game, like I said, we had another thing. It was so many statistics to keep account of in the first game. It's also the fact of how the Saints dominated the time of possession, how they controlled the clock. Like you go into their building, and there's a lot of people in there, 100,000 something odd people. For Stan, they're going to be 100,000 people in that building for that first home game. So it's going to be lit in Dallas, right? But even though that's their building, that field is neutral. That field is neutral. And if the Saints are running the ball and dominating the line of scrimmage and controlling the clock to the point where they're controlling what the Dallas Cowboys do offensively speaking in their play calling, that's a done deal. You do that, you'll quiet that loud ass crowd. We just got to stand on business, man. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, indeed. It'll be a good test. Nola Ball says, Q, do you know DC best 2 games of his career? Derek Carr's best games of his career? No, put it up there, bro. Let me know. I don't know. All right, what's up, Jay Sticks? How you doing, sir? Big Velly, how you doing? My brother says Lattimore is wearing me with these injuries. I know, brother. This is Lattimore's last year, bro, with the Saints. From a contract, I'm not from a contract standpoint, meaning that he still got years on his contract. But what I mean, last year, I think the Saints are going to ultimately get from up under Lattimore's contract. I think this will be a year where the Saints move beyond that. And I think they wanted to kind of keep it together for one more year, make a run, see what they can do secondary wise, because Kool-Aid McKinstry or JaQuincy, as Dennis Allen calls him, JaQuincy McKinstry. JaQuincy, is that his name? JaQuincy? I'm gonna just call him Kool-Aid, but Dennis Allen can't do that. But he's the guy that's supposed to be the next man up, in terms of that. Plus, Rico Payton is another young player that we have that's a lot of skill to him. So we're solid in the cornerback room. We are. But Laddie Daddy, I think this will be the last year in terms of with the Saints before they get from up under him in his deal, man. Just to be honest with you. All right. Baller says the last game of last year, last Sunday's first game. Okay. All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah. All right. Yes. Hitrom says Shaheed as Debo Samuel. Yeah, Saints used them really good, man. Any questions? Y'all throw them in here, man. Let me know before I get ready to kind of get on up out of here. Cartel says AK doesn't look like he lost a step in this new offense. I'm excited to see how things turn out for him. Indeed, bro. And that's what we talked about, right? You remember all the talk about people saying Alvin Kamara is old and all this kind of stuff. They were using the standard programmed spiel about running backs getting to a certain age and then falling off a cliff. There was no cliff with Alvin Kamara because the Saints never overutilized Alvin Kamara. They never did. Kamara has never been like truly featured in the set. Maybe one year I want to say that they actually tried to feature him, but the rest of the years and times he's been a compliment guy. He was a combo back with Mark Ingram. He was a combo. You see what I'm saying? He was a guy that was used in unison with a combination of running backs, whether it's 1 or 3. But he was the guy using. He was never overutilized. He was never truly beat up, like you would say that of a Christian McCaffrey, like what at Carolina did. Carolina ran Christian McCaffrey into the ground, and then they traded him to the 49ers because they felt like they didn't get any value out of him. They overran Christian McCaffrey in Carolina. This is the truth. Then they say, okay, we done got everything out of him. He can't stay healthy. Boom, give us some picks here. You can have him. Then he goes out there and run the league and controls the league and runs up and do all this other kind of stuff. But that never was the case for Alvin Kamara. He never was ran in the ground. And he's always in the best of his shape. He's always ready to play football no matter what point of the year you're in. You can grab Alvin Kamara, say you want to play some football, and he's ready to go. He's always that guy. And then on top of that, it's certain players that that are always exceptions to the rule. There's a rule and there's an exception. We know this. He's the exception to that rule. You can't say that Elvin Kamara is this, that, and the third. He should be the guy. He should have finished his career as a New Orleans Saint, just like a Cam Jordan do and all this. He said the same stuff. I don't like how they handled it because he was outspoken. But why was he outspoken? He was outspoken because he was speaking up for the culture, the successful culture that the Saints wasn't exhibiting enough last year. He was speaking up for that culture. So was Laddie Daddy. And some believe, including him, that probably the reason why they playing money games with him. He said that they wanted him to do something that he didn't want to do. And he believes that that's a part of what's going on here. But other guys got contracts. Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, the reporters made comparisons between the two. And he was like, nah, this is different. That ain't is different. We hadn't heard anything about no Tyrann Mathieu or bucking about the losing that was going on. He's always been an ardent supporter of Dennis Allen. I never heard anybody refer to Dennis Allen as fun. He the only one talking that foolishness. Demario Davis never said nothing about the losing crap that was going on. They didn't inspire them to run any player only meetings to discuss what we doing wrong. They did not. Nobody did that. None of them. He didn't step up for the cult. Marshawn and Elvin Kamara was two of the people that was in that building saying, man, this is all wrong. And then they make the moves and stuff based upon what these guys was talking about. Now look how Elvin Kamara is performing now. He was talking against the losing and the non-accountability, coaches not disciplined, players that's false starting in practice. They're not saying nothing. He said that, and Loomis didn't like the fact that he put that out there. And I say, tell Loomis to shut the hell up, because he was supposed to put that out there because you're supposed to stand on a culture of winning and not protecting some bullshit culture. Shut your old ass up with that. So, in the end, they're going to pay Elvin Kamara, and they're going to pay him heartily, or they're going to pay for Elvin Kamara another way. Either you pay for him or you pay when you face him. And more than likely, we sold some of these people in the NFC South are so wretched, he'll be the first place they go to. It'd be Atlanta or Tampa Bay or one of these old other teams. They try to offer him a bag, 2 bags to go there. It'll be some wretched team from the NFC South trying to get Kamara to come over there, and then you got to match up with him twice a year. You either pay him or he'll make you pay. So, I mean, it's what it is, man. We got to get this right. All right. What's up, True Hurt? Shout out to you, man. Big Valley says we need to be looking for another Taysom Hill in next year's draft. Wow. Is there another Taysom Hill around here? Dude. I know that kid that played for Nicholls State, man. What's that guy name? Guggenheim. Y'all look that dude up. That Guggenheim dude that we played from Nicholls State, that dude was awesome. That guy might be the type of guy you might want to look at. Guggenheim from Nicholls State. That dude was awesome, man. All right, Cartel says the fact that we were able to have very limited penalties called in this game shows how much coaching means in the game of football. We had 10 penalties, bro, in this game. It didn't feel like 10 penalties because the Saints was doing everything right, but we had 10 penalties. Rashad says in more exciting for the Cowboys game than the last one. We really get to see what this team has against real competition. Indeed, I'm looking forward to it too. Shazam said they're just resting Laddie. We still got 2 more days of practice. Indeed. Yeah, this is true. It's just one, we'll see. It's not final until we hit that Friday practice, that Friday afternoon. We get that Friday report and it says where he is. And then that gives you an indication of where we'll be going into the game. It always does. Cardus is cute. With that being said, do you think we'll be able to maintain such a high level of defense with the additions of Rico and Kool-Aid, McKinstry, and no Laddie? Yeah, I think so. I think Kool-Aid will be a very good cornerback for us. And I think the Saints will add other people too. There'll be other guys that'll be added to the team. You lose a Lattimore, you're going to bring somebody in, maybe not a free agent, but you perhaps will draft a guy to come here or do what the Saints have been doing really well, which is finding undrafted free agent talent to come to the team and perform. Rico Payton, JT Gray, Carl Granderson, Rashid Shaheed, all of these Mason Tipton's going to make a Dallin Hawker, all of these players that we talk about, Anthony Orgy, Dude, think about that. All these players, the damn kicker we got here, Blake Grupe. I mean, the Saints shine more in the undrafted rank than they do anywhere else, don't they? Think about that list of names I just gave you. You don't think the Saints are gonna? They are really been shining in the college undrafted free agent market, and not only just getting these guys, but turning them into starters, productive starters. Let me say that again: Rashid Shaheed, Carl Granderson, Anthony Orji, Rico Payton, Blake Grupe, Dallin Hawker, who's going to be good. Mason Tipton is going to be good. I told y'all that when I said I was warning people. I say, fam, listen, they got this little guy from Yale. He ain't very tall, but he's very disciplined. He runs really good routes. He's very fast. He's a 4.33 guy. He has really solid hands. He's going to be this guy's really good. We can get him in in the draft. He fell through the draft, and I was like, man, Saints went and got him. He was balling in practice, in training camp. He's a natural. And then he had the little issue. But I said, man, I've seen enough. Tipton should make the team. Dennis Allen said, yeah, he's going to make the team, and he's on the team. Man, the Saints have a gift at finding undrafted talent, family. Not only that, getting these guys, but turning these guys into contributors, man. Anthony Orji was solid in that Carolina game, man. He was like the fourth tackler, fourth or fifth tackler. And he got most of his tackles on special team. So the guy is terrific, man. Terrific. All right. Yeah, but I'm not worried about that at all, bro. I don't think that's going to change at all, bro. All right. What's up, J-Rock? Says Q. Check out Mark Sheridan's Stinking Truth podcast. Go to the 650 mark and play to 1245. That part covers the Saints. I had somebody talk about that, bro. The Mark Sheridan, is the Stinking the Truth or the Slinking Truth? Is it a play on his name? Hold on, bro. I will do that, bro. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull that up. Hold on. Let me get my hurricane thing back up there, man, because y'all know we having somewhat of a hurricane party. I'm talking to the family members. I'm kind of talking to the family members, man, while we kind of they got a goddamn storm encroaching. I'm looking out. I don't see nothing really popping and snapping right now, man. It ain't even raining like that. It's wet out there, but it's no wind or nothing. Look like it's turning north. It's kind of pivoting and going north away from us over here. All right, give me a second, bro. Let me pull up Mark's the stinking podcast. The Stinking Truth. All right. The Stinking Truth. All right. All right. Yeah, sure. It's called the Stinking Truth. All right. You say it's the last one? Is it the last one here? Hold on. Let me see if I can put it up here. The Stinking Truth. Hold on here. You said Mark number 650. 650. Family member said, Q, man, I need you to go and do this, brother. I said, okay. All right, brother. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on. Was it which one was it, bro? He says it's the I'm Thinking True podcast. Go to which podcast was it? What's the name of the podcast? Because he got a bunch of ones up here from Mark Sheridan. I always like Mark Sheridan. He's always a good commentator on ESPN. He always was very. Is it the latest one, bro? Which one is it? Okay, J-Rock says the last one. Okay. All right. Okay, give me a second, bro. Let me go ahead and put that on there just a second. For the family. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out here. All right.
I mean, it's pretty impressive, man. It's pretty impressive what they do. That was a bludgeoning. Then the game I called, you asked me for impressive. Said the same thing. Man, I spent a lot of time studying the San Francisco run game.
Yeah.
The 49er run game. I mean, it's pretty impressive, man. It's pretty impressive what they do. That was a bludgeoning. Then the game I called, you asked me for impressive. I'm gonna tell you something. Now, it was against the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
The Carolina Panthers might not really be an NFL team roster-wise. Like, They picked up like 7 guys off everybody else's scrap heap, right? And like they had, I think there were 7 different guys defensively, offensively.
Can y'all hear that? Put it in the chat.
I believe it was either 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere in that category. They picked up off of somebody else's roster who had been cut. So they had been cut August, say 22nd, right? Or whatever it was, whatever the final cut down day was. They got cut after the 3rd preseason game, and they're all starting for the Carolina Panthers. So there's a lot of work going on to build that roster to where it needs to be. But the NFC South, which you know is going to be my division, it'll be really interesting to see the New Orleans Saints take on the Cowboys this weekend. And I do believe Tom Brady will be calling. It's a Cowboys game, so of course Tom Brady's going to be calling it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you've heard he's doing games for Fox. Have you heard that?
Yeah. Then I also heard that he didn't really open to the greatest of reviews either.
Well, he's doing games. I am no longer. I cannot comment on. I'm sure he was outstanding, and everybody who didn't give him a good review is a douchebag. But
Good company, man. Good company response. Well done.
But anyhow, I don't know if you've heard that Tom Brady's doing games at Fox, but I've heard it. Anyhow, he's doing that. Well, it's a Cowboys game, so he's doing that. They played the Saints. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not going to be shocked at all when the Saints beat the Cowboys. I think it's in Dallas.
Yeah.
I won't be shocked at all. Clint Kubiak took over that offense, and a couple things. One, Alvin Kamara is a perfect fit for what they're trying to do in the run game / screen game, passing game. And that is the offense that Derek Carr is most familiar with because he ran that with John Gruden. The difference is John Gruden had a check for everything, right? John Gruden put it all on Derek Carr. Derek Carr has got a lot. This offense has got a lot with the guys that we know, like Clint Kubiak. We were really familiar with his father, Gary Kubiak. But Rick Dennison is there as well. And Rick, I was talking to Rick before the game. Rick is their kind of quote-unquote run game, top offensive assistant / run game aficionado. And he said, Stig, we got so many tank plays in, like just call it and run it. So we take that pressure off the quarterback to make sure that, hey, if we're in this and they do this, we got to get to this. No. This play is good against everything. Call it, run it. Let's get off the ball. Let's smash some guys in the teeth. And it's one thing that drives me crazy, especially with the younger generation of coaches in today's game. I hear it all the time, Mike, every week. Oh, we want to get into a premium play here. This is going to be a premium play. So what that means is, hey, if we get a certain look, we'll keep it on. But if we get a look that we don't like, we're going to check to this or check to that. And the problem with that is you're always playing on your freaking heels. Like, I just like to line up and try to actually, like shorten somebody's neck, right? Just come off the ball and see if you can smash somebody. And when you have the call it and run it system or the tank play system, one, it lets you come off the ball hunting, and it lets that quarterback take a breather right there. I don't have to think about anything.
Right.
I'm going, we're running 19 handoff force? We're good. Against everything, we're good. Blue 80, so boom, had the ball out there. So Derek is in that system. He really knows that system. He was great last weekend. They've got a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Taysom Hill is a problem. Let me tell you about Taysom Hill really quick. Guy's 34 years old, which you would never believe. He's like this. There was an article. They have 10 different categories of kind of strength, level of strength for different things, like strength and strength and physicality and explosiveness. So they have 10 different categories their strength coaches grade people on. He was a top 10 in every category except one, and in that one he was top 15, I think, on the team. Like he's a freak show, and he played lead fullback where he's leading on a run play, then he's lined up at tailback, and then he's lined up at tight end, then he's lined up at slot receiver, then he's lined up at quarterback. Like he plays every position on the football field, and he's like a real problem. It's just they're a lot better than I think people think they are, and they're going to contend. I thought Atlanta was going to run away with the NFC South. The New Orleans Saints, after watching them, and I know it was against Carolina Panthers, they're going to give people problems.
Well, we'll see if it happens against Dallas. You're calling the possibility of a big upset. Cowboys, they finally got it done. They got the deal done with Dak.
All right. Mark Sheriff. Shout out to him on that, man. And listen, hey, I'm saying, fam, that they're not invincible. They're not invincible at all. They're not. They are not invincible. Like I said, I watched the game. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, man. I watched that. I went and watched the footage, and I wasn't impressed with their offense. The defense, that's a whole nother thing. The offense, only 2 offensive touchdowns against the Browns. The Browns made them kick a lot of field goals. They weren't very crisp there. Can we play against these guys? We sure can. We can. We have to see what we can do here, man. Like I've said over and over again, the first week is only something if the second week is a continuation. You got good energy. You open it. That's a good open season plastering of a division rival. Very good. The next thing is, can you move that same momentum into the week 2 matchup against a much better opponent? That's what it comes down to. That's been the problem. We'll see. All right. Clancy says running game will be the key to getting a win. I absolutely agree, man.
He ain't lying.
That's how we got to do it. All right. Jeslo says Taysom is the X factor indeed. And Mark talked about it. We talked about it in the stream about Taysom Hill and what Taysom does and how Taysom was breaking tackles. Guys couldn't get him on the ground, took multiple guys tackling him. And that's when you use him like a running back. You can't stop all of them. That's the point. And the fact that the Saints have all of this motioning going on, it's going to force that defense to think. And let me tell you something. Those guys are fast. You thinking, instead of there looking and seeing, well, by the time you realize Elvin Kamara got the ball, Elvin Kamara already 3 yards past you. He already 3 yards past you. And getting to the second level, into the third level, like he was doing it. Elvin Kamara wasn't running like no satellite back. Elvin Kamara was running with power against Carolina. A man pissed off and Taysom running with power, then Jamal Williams goes in there. So like I said, the Saints have everything it takes to play with anybody, to compete with anybody in this here NFL. So we'll just see if they can consistently put it all together. Yep, bro, you just got to put it together. All right, who that Dallas says, I can feel this win, Q. Yeah, it's good energy. Dark Side, what's up, bro? Says AK and Hill needs a heavy workload in the backfield. I agree, bro. We got to run the ball. Rose says Cleveland didn't have a true run game either. But they still, but did you realize that Cleveland, despite the fact that they didn't have a true running attack, did you know they still had a decent run percentage up against the Cowboys defense? I think they were averaging, they almost had 100 yards rushing against against Dallas, in that game. Their running backs averaged almost 5 yards a run. Let me look this up right quick because I'm going off memory. Yeah. Jamal Ford. Yeah, when their runners did get the ball, fam, their runners averaged, as a team, they averaged 5 yards a rush against Dallas's defense. Now, Deshaun Watson scrambled 5 times and he averaged 8 yards per carry. But Jerome Ford and Perry Strong Jr. both averaged. Jerome ran for 12 times for 44 yards. He averaged 4 yards a carry, had a touchdown. Pierre Strong Jr. had 2 carries for 10 yards. That's 5 yards a carry. So you had 4 and 5 on those 2 running backs, and Deshaun Watson scrambled 5 times, average 8 yards per scramble. So overall, 19 carries, 93 yards, 5 yards per run average, and the score there. So even though those are not phenomenal numbers, they obviously had to abandon the running attack because they were trailing so greatly in the game that they had to go and do something else. So, we see that. But yeah, indeed, this team is not a juggernaut, man. They still got stuff that they can be beaten at. All right, Bird Talk. What's up, fam? Said, what's popping, my brother? How you doing? All right. Okay. Jaslo says, Laddie dad injury again. It's upsetting at 29 years old. Why all these soft tissue problems is having problems hydrating or stretching. Yeah, it could be a combination of both, bro. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Laddie daddy when we get to the final Friday injury report. Freedom at Cross says, I came here for the theme song. Oh, yeah, we got a good one, brother. Appreciate you, man. 504 Cool says, they're not bullying us, Pammy. We got some prideful dogs on this team, but agree with you. They do for sure. Brother Shazam says, MC has way more miles than AK. Indeed. Justlo says, Kool-Aid needs to be battle tested, but not big blitz against them. They should have enough with Young and 3 at defensive line to rush. All right. Darkside says Dallas run game looked like trash. It did. Yeah, they and that's the weak point about Dallas. Now they have Zeke Elliott, who's the featured, I don't want to say featured back, but he was the top guy that was rolling out there. He's kind of beyond his his prime there. Rico Dardell was the second guy, and they have Deuce Vaughn and all those guys. So they're trying to do like a mixture of Zeke Elliott, Rico Dardell, and Deuce Vaughn as like a trio of running backs type thing that they roll out depending on what they're using. And then they sprinkle CD Lamb in there. You see, they throw CD Lamb in there and give him the ball sneakily on those end arounds where he goes into motion and Dak snaps the ball before he gets to him and he hands it to him, as he's going to the left and Dak's rolling right to create that situation. The Saints have to be aware about it because they did that 3 times in the matchup against Cleveland, and he averaged over 8 yards an attempt each time he did that. So the Saints have to be aware of the Kool-Aid, the CD Lamb factor. They got to watch out for that guy because he's a force on offense. Plus, he was their top receiver. He had 5 catches for 61 yards. He averaged over 12 yards a catch. Now, he didn't have any touchdowns in the game, but the guy does help. If he's flowing, their offense is moving, you see. And he don't even have to be getting touchdowns. He could just be a distraction out there. He can just be a decoy for Brandon Cooks to get him, for these other guys to get him. So, but we'll have to see how that's going, man. But yeah, their offense is, their running attack, in my opinion, is probably the weakest I've seen it in years, to be honest with you, because they always had really good running backs there, or decent backs, respectable backs like Pollard. They don't have those guys anymore. They bring back an old Zeke. They have Rico Dardell and Dak, Deuce Vaughn. These are other kind of satellite backs you could throw in there in the mixture in certain packages. So they kind of doing that type of thing. So you just have to watch out. And plus, the numbers on Dak Prescott in the Cleveland game wasn't impressive to me. 19 of 32 for $179. He averaged 5.6 yards per throw. With just every 2 completions is a first down. He had 1 touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. He had a QBR of 30.9 and a rating of 85.3. Wasn't great Dak Prescott numbers. It was enough to get the dub. And he had a lot of help from other people, including the special teams, 4 field goals and a punt return, actually, for a touchdown. Defense had 6 sacks in that matchup in turnovers. So it was a full effort by Dallas, just like for the Saints. So very interesting. All right. Son of God says, if the Saints beat the Cowboys and Eagles next couple of weeks, the NFL should be on notice. Yes, absolutely. Because that'll catapult the Saints in the power rankings. Because right now the Saints are seen as a 20th team. I told you that's the Dennis Allen factor. They're not looking past Dennis Allen because there's such a low opinion of Dennis Allen as a head coach. And what he could do, and it's his own fault. for how he has been running the team and the things that he's been done. You get what you get. You get what you deserve. There is no injustices against Dennis Allen, and he heads my team. I'm a black and gold man, but I'm telling the truth. Dennis Allen is getting what he deserves. He gets, if he makes better coaching decisions and he stays on code to the best of his ability, the Saints will win. He'll get the credit that he feels that he deserves. But if you're feeling disrespected, it's because you're doing something that's getting a negative. You're doing something, or you're creating something in your life that is drawing that energy. Like your decision making is creating this. Now, in certain rare circumstances, there are situations where you're being tested. Don't get me wrong on that. A lot of what we see out here is a result of what your actions bring you. And also, in certain rare circumstances, you are being tested. Like if you're positive, you're operating on code, you're doing stuff you're supposed to do, you're still going to be tested. You're not exempt from the schools are being tested, because you could be getting ready to level up. And you know the old term about new levels, new devils, that you got to accomplish to get on the next level. You heard that term before. Well, everybody gets tested. Even the guys or the people that's out there doing what they're supposed to do, you get tested. It might be your time to level up to your next level in life. Might be that next ring of it where you're about to go on up and get more money. You're about to go on up with a better relationship. You're about to go on, whatever the case may be that you're aspiring to do. In order to get there, it won't be easy. Sometimes it requires some bit of sacrifice, you know, so that's how it goes. But Dennis Allen is getting what he deserves. If he coaches, if he had what he's done over the last couple of years have brought him back to this. So for him, if he wants to change it, he has to then change everything. And he has done a great bit of change. Will it be enough to get the Saints over the hump? I think it will be. And I've said that before. I said the Saints are a 10 or 11 game winning team if they operate and run the ball and place Derek Carr in play action Carr mode. The Saints will win 10, 11 games and win the NFC South. I said that for a while now, and I'm saying it, and I'm sticking to it. They can call me crazy. You can call me whatever you want. You can call me crazy. You can call me like, what was that? What was that? You can call whatever the old say. Yeah. Oh, Ray J. Y'all remember? That's old school, man. You can call me Ray. You can call, that's old school stuff, man. All right. Doc says, I get y'all beat the Panthers, but what is up with the media coverage? Tampa Bay Ardell's wins were not as good, and the power rankings move y'all up one spot, but still has ATL above the Saints. Dennis Allen factor. It's the Dennis Allen effect. Not factor, it's effect. The Dennis Allen effect is the reason why the Saints are not getting the love, nationally speaking. Dennis Allen. This is true talk. It's the Dennis Allen effect. It has all of the aspirations of many of the Who Dat Nation suppressed because they think at some point he's going to foul it up. So that's what it comes down to. But the top, like I said, the power 4 or 5 of the NFC, 49ers, Eagles, you got the Cowboys up there, the Detroit Lions, and like I said, anywhere between 2 to 4, you can jumble them because Detroit might be better. But those are seen as the top 4 or 5 teams in the NFC. If the Saints don't play Detroit in a regular season this year, they'll meet them in the playoffs, same with San Fran. So the Saints will meet Dallas Sunday, and they will play Philly coming up soon too. If you beat 2 of the 4 top teams in the NFC, they got to put you up there. And then that's a whole nother test of how you handle being listed as that. Do you rear back in your saddle and say, yeah, we finally got it? Or do you say, hell with that, let's go and get them and take it to that next level? And of course, like I said, the Saints are training. They got a hurricane on the way. They stayed home to train with the hurricane coming. That extra degree of difficulty, I guess, if you want to label that, should give you somewhat of an advantage in terms of adversity, right? How you deal with adversity, that should bring it up a ring. You got that knocking on you. So if you can train when that's coming, a football game should be nothing to you, right? Right? I'll just, you would think. All right. All right, thank you, Dark Sides. Adjustlos, that's why running game, not threat, stay home coverage to pressure to force run. We can do NASCAR package with Cam. They're gonna definitely do that. Pammy says sometimes your disobedience can bring about bad Exactly. It's called karma. Karma, that's what happens. You bring about a lot of people see the universe like the Most High. Some people believe the Most High created this machine called the universe. Let's just call it that, right? And in this universe, you have to know it's supposed to provide for you, right? Like you see a lot of the animals that's out there in a proper environment, the animals are eating they're not working any jobs or whatever. They're going out and they're eating, they're getting theirs, right? They're surviving because that's how nature's set up. They feed on whatever nature provides, and that's how it goes. But in the universe, is some people believe it was designed where it is a mechanism or a machine that's supposed to grant you or give you what you request, but it's based upon what you put into it. So it's not like you're getting something free. It's what you put into it is what you get back. They also see it as a mirror. So whatever you're seeing out, whatever you're sending, you're going to get it back. So a lot of people don't understand that whatever they did last year or the year before that was disagreeable, they paying for it now. It could have been something you did 5 years ago that was disagreeable. You paying for it now. Or you could simply be creating curses for your children, because there is such thing as curses, generational curses that people before you passed to you because of what they did that was horrific, that was so bad that the effect of it has to play itself out over several generations. You get what I said? You heard that? That's what happens, man. So people, sometimes that's what happened. You get what you give, man. Whether you remember what you did 4 or 5 years ago, you'll pay for it at some point. And it's going to come to you. May not be the equal way you thinking it's going to come. It might come in a different way where it'll impact a loved one. You see? And like, I'm a dude that believes in what's called divine justice. That's when the Most High will then say, okay, here, you'll be warned about a circumstance and you ignore the several warnings that you get, go in through the circumstance or the situation, and then it becomes bad. And then you pray to be removed from the situation and ain't no move. And then no. You gonna go through that. And you praying to be removed and you don't be removed. You have to go through that. That's called divine justice, because you got your warnings. Now you want somebody to come and pull you out of a situation that you created. Oh no. And let somebody come along and try to pull you out that circumstance. They're going to bear. I'm telling you, y'all, man, this game. You see somebody out there struggling, somebody, you homeless person, you give them a few bucks. That's one thing. But if you actually go about trying to pull somebody out of this and put them over here, and they the ones that put themselves in there and they go skipping along happily, guess who got to take care of that? You got to bear whatever they did. That energy comes to you. How many of my people out there done dated people or dealt with people, right? And my experienced people now, tell the truth, that done dealt with people. This game now, for my younger people that might not know, or some of my older experienced people that might not have been through this, open your damn ears and listen to what I'm telling you. When you see people out there, it's a reason why they're in the situation that they're in. They've decided to put themselves in this situation and they're there. The only way out of the situation is they have to make a way for themselves. If you go there and try to pull them out of a situation that divine justice said that they were supposed to be in, you're gonna get your issue. How many times, my experienced people, y'all dated somebody and then you was doing good, you was fine and amazing, and you dealt with somebody might be in a little lesser or just a little bit, in a situation, and you deal with them, you help them, and then next thing you know, they skipped along, you helped them out of a bad situation. Then later on, y'all break apart, they skip on their merry way, and then all of a sudden you find yourself going down. How many people, by a show of hands, put your goddamn hands up? How many people that happened to in here? Huh? Come on now. How many times you help somebody that you knew you shouldn't have helped, and years later you say, I shouldn't even help that person because you was doing fine, but when you helped them and you helped them out, next thing you know, you was going down. Put your hands up, man. I'm trying to protect y'all from something, man, because you either learn it this way or learn it the other way. One way you're going to pay. Ain't no divine justice, meaning that is what you caused for yourself. And you must go through that. You got to learn the lesson so you never do that again. You can't run around here like these idiots is telling you and do all this F stuff out here and expect you not to get anything happen to you. That's why I told y'all on the last stream, I said, some of these people out here are dead already. They already walking dead. They got something going on in Houston. The lady was saying all these people got AIDS out there. They got a whole epidemic going on across the country. Them people ain't even talking about it, man. But when that other shit popped out several years ago, that was all over the place. But you got several other things going on right now because of how the society is being run, how people think it. And ain't nobody telling nobody about it. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all here today. Most of these people are walking dead, fam. That sounds harsh, but it's real. You better hear these lessons, man. Look all them hands in the check. Facts, hands up. You helped somebody you wasn't supposed to help, and you was doing real good. Then they go about their merry way and they started doing good. You're like, damn. And then next thing you know, you going down. That's because you wasn't supposed to do that. That has to play out whether it's through them or through your ass. That's divine justice because you interfered with a process that you wasn't supposed to interfere with. You got in the way of the order, and now you have to take that on. And I'm one of them people. That's how I can tell you about that. You helped somebody you wasn't supposed to help. And I know that's in your spirit to do that, but you got to remember the rules and the laws of this universe and how stuff work out here. You don't get in the way of divine justice, fam. You don't get in the way. You want to pray for them? Pray for them. You know, a few bucks here or there, fine. But getting in there and actually physically doing something for them, no, because you messing with how stuff's supposed to operate. They're in a training period in which that is supposed to be something that's supposed to, their character is somewhere, shape, form, or fashion flawed, and then they must improve that to get that calm off and to go through that lesson. You do that, that comes to you. And then they skip along, don't learn a lesson, and go and do the same shit over and over again. Don't interfere, fam. I'm telling y'all, man, don't get in the way of the Lord's divine justice for people out here operating amidst and afoul, thinking that ain't no punishment out here and you could do whatever you want to do. Shit, even the devil pray, man. Who you think the devil praying to? You think they praying to him? Now he ain't got no power besides what you give him. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. We talking truth talk, baby. Y'all better listen to what I'm telling you, because ain't no preacher and no $10,000 suit gonna come and tell you all this stuff. They incentivized to keep all of this shit away from you, by the way, or any of these other religious people out here. They're not gonna give you the game. I'm telling you, they got people. You guys protect yourself out here. These people out here, half of them dead. I'm just telling you, they're walking dead. This is real. I really don't know what time it is. They lights is turned out. Like, you could try to talk to people about some stuff and they don't even realize that they're in the middle of a full out war. They don't get closed. And they say they woke. You not know that's a joke. Man, you're in a full out war on your ass right now. Most of them don't even know what's going on. They're worrying about Lil Wayne not getting some concert at the Superdome. Who gives a hell about that, man? Oh, well, who cares, man? Who cares? Who cares? Anyway, let me get on up out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate yapping at y'all, man. I just wanted to share some stuff with y'all, man. You can see the hurricane coming that way, man. But we good because we got the Most High's protection. Red T said, but I don't think they're trying to help people means God punish them necessary, especially if your heart is in the right place. God will find a way to bring them back to where they need to be. Fam, God ain't gonna interfere, man. That's a violation. What are we talking about, Red T? God does not interfere. He doesn't interfere. See, you can't make rules and then interfere with the rules you make that will make you a hypocrite. The Most High intercedes if you give him permission to, but he still has to go. It still applies through the rules, because in order to get in the situation that you was dealing with, you were given many warnings. You ignored the many warnings you got before you got there. That's true talk. Because you ain't gonna just walk into something. You're gonna get all type of stuff gonna come to you. You're gonna get feelings inside, gonna tell you don't do that. Even some people gonna tell you don't do that. Like, for instance, I'm gonna use my beautiful little sister who passed away. Y'all know she passed away. My baby sister passed away. And before she passed, before she had that surgery, everybody told her not to do it. I told her not to do it several times. My older sister did, my mother did, my father did, her friends did. Everything. Everybody. You see? You get the warnings. Her fiance told her don't do it. She went and did it. Something went wrong. She's not here today. See, if you don't listen, you can end up dead. But you get the Most High send warnings to you all the time. You just have to pay attention. A lot of times people ignore it for whatever reason. They ignore it. They ignore the warnings that you're supposed to get. And the Most High is not a violator. He will not, the divine creator is not going to start moving stuff around in your life without permission. That's a violation. Most High not going to do that. He make the rules and he not going to break the rules. He'll make the rules and follow the rules. And just because he created the rules don't mean that he going to, that he don't do that. He follow the rules that he create for you. So if you go out and make deals with people you're not supposed to make deals with, that's that, and you're warned about that, you're gonna pay for that. And that's not gonna be something that can protect you from your own decision making process. You gotta bear that. You created that. You have to pay for that. Not me. You have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. And who you think he works for? Who do you think he works for? You think he out here on the island? See, that's the foolishness right there. Not to UT, but a lot of people believe that they got this dude out here and he's running around tearing up everything unchecked. A lot of times that's not the case. If the creator if it was like what you think it was, creator would just wipe them out. That would end all of it, right? Simple thing, right? Just wipe out the demon. Get rid of them. That's easy, right? Just wipe them out. It don't work like that. A lot of times this all is a test. That's what it is. It's a test. That's why you're here for a certain period of time. You're put here to make personal corrections to yourself to get ready to transition to the next level. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to come right back here, probably as a man, if you're a woman or some kind of, I'm telling you, this is different than what they teach you. This is a school and you have to make the necessary corrections to yourself to get to that next level. If you don't, then something going to happen where you're going to go somewhere where you're going to have to figure out and you're going to have to go back and do something else here because it's a school. It's a test. That's how it is. You get all this stuff going on. Like I said, I don't want to put a big spiel about it because this is something I usually talk about on Q with Big Q, man. This Saint stuff right here. But I'm going to say this and leave it alone. All this stuff is situated by the creator. All of the angels, you a baby angel, the angels, the access protectors, the demons work all for the same being. All for the same being. All for the same being. And they are punished when they violate rules and they violate the laws of the universe. They get punished just like you do. Now, they might vibrate on a higher level than you. That's why you don't see them unless you're really highly intuitive. And then you'll see something there. You won't see a full embodiment, but they vibrate at a higher level. The other ones vibrate at a lower level. That's why the game is to get you to vibrate on lower level junk. All of the crap that's out there, the vibe on that, because that's nothing. But you have to be up here. And a lot of this is corrections, self-corrections. Like you're here to fix yourself. You're here to find out what's wrong and fix it. If you're a narcissist, you're supposed to know that and figure out a way, because there's ways you can fix a lot of personal character issues. If you're a person that like to shun responsibility, you're supposed to fix that. If you're a person that lies a lot, you're supposed to cut that out. If you're a person that steals or whatever the case may be, you're supposed to know what character flaws and issues you have and make the necessary improvements to them. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And we all have them. And if you don't know, go find somebody you trust to tell you, hey, you know what my problem is? Well, can you write it down for me? And they'll tell your ass. Find somebody who's a really good friend that you trust and tell them what's your problem. And then sit there and don't be all screw-faced when they tell your ass the truth about you. Oh, don't sit there with your mouth sticking out. Why do you ask? You ask for this truth. Don't you sit your ass there with that screw face. What you so mad about? Well, you doing it. This is when you, hey, listen, that's what you supposed, that's what you wanted. All right. Man, no, man. That's all a part of you, man. No, you advocating, man. No, all this you got to do. I ain't get no spiritual debate with you. You at the center of it. You can't advocate responsibility to some other force. It don't work like that. This is on you. You can't advocate force. You take one step toward the Most High. He takes two toward you. You have to put the action in the place. You can't advocate all of the stuff that you're supposed to do to something else. You can't do. That's the problem with the world today. You can't advocate responsibility. You have to do what I'm gonna just let God fix me. No. You got to do the work, man. And as you're fixing you'll see the blessings come from the Most High because you're walking in that direction. You got to put the work in. That's called active faith, not this non-active stuff when we advocate all of our responsibility away to something else. You got to have active faith, not non-active faith. That's why the world in the state of chaos that it is today. And we blaming the demons when it's really you. If you was doing what you're supposed to do, these people wouldn't be doing this. You'd have been stopped them from doing this. You reared back and let these people take the world from you and put it in this chaotic state and just sit here and blame them for something that they doing out of their nature when you have a higher nature than they do. The demons only are winning because you're non-active. Because praying is not enough. You need to get active. You pray and then go out there and kick some ass. That's what I'm talking about. You go out there, you pray first, and then go out there and handle your business. You heard what I just said here? And I'm going to leave it at that, man. Ain't no act. That's the problem in the world. We advocating everything. You got to take responsibility, man. That's truth talk. That's why the world is where it is. You got to go pray and then put in work, man. That's how this go. Yes, you're right. But that's in you to create action. T, yes, you're right. But you have to take that which the Lord give you and put it to fact. You got to get out there and get active with the power of the Most High giving you. That's active faith. You got to pray, then go kick some ass. You heard what I said? You think them civil rights people, Dr. Martin Luther King was out there running around, man. They had them riders with them. The deacons of defense. Y'all know that history about the deacons of defense and all that? The World War I and World War II vets that were protecting the civil rights people, right? When you had people that were full of demons that wanted to go and hurt black people, all this kind of stuff going on there. Them people was religious people, but them people was on their square. They wasn't going to let you play with them. A lot of them people got up out of here because they would pray, because that, it's a time. And even they say that you got to pick up that sword. You're not going to pray all of this away. You pray and then you get active because you're in a physical world. You have to get physical. You got the spiritual, the mental, use the mental, you play, you gather the spiritual, and then you get physical, baby. You put it all together. This is stuff. That's how things change in the world. The Most High can't use you if you're not a force of movement. If you're not moving, if all you're doing is just praying and then you just sit down or you don't do anything, that doesn't work. You dissipate all of the great energy the Most High gave you. You dissipate it all. You got to move. You got to get active. You got to move. All right. Yeah, but you get, like I said, but God is in you, man. God is in you. He's in you. It's in you. The energy is in you. You got everything you need. The Most High done gave us everything we need to beat these people, man, to beat the demons. You got to activate and move. That's the point of the whole thing. It's useless to sit up here and spew back and forth this stuff unless you're activated. That's why I always say activate, 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 activate. Don't I always say that? Activate and move, because if you have power, power is nothing unless it's put into practice. What are you sitting there with? If you're not using the power that the Most High give you, you're squandering it. It's untest, like having a socket. You paying a power bill and having a socket, and you have a television of stuff that you put in the socket that you never plug up. You got stuff that you never plug into the socket, not ever, but it's there. It's there. You plug into it, and then once you use it, turn it off, turn it on, and use it for the good in your life. Use it for the good of society. That's what I'm saying. You got to activate, active faith and active works. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Works is movement. Works is action. Works is action. Action, which means movement. That's what it's about. We got to move, man. That's what I'm talking. Faith without works is dead. Pray and then move. Right, there you go. Faith without works is dead. So you can't get away without the action part. Pray and then get your ass up and go make something happen. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm gonna get out on that. I guess that fits in everything we were saying here, because this is a saint show and we talking saints. So I guess this is some saintly matter. So this kind of all applies, right? But anyway, listen, man, I'm gonna get out of here. To all my people out there, man, listen, y'all be careful with this star, man. It looked like we just got the live active feed right here, about to come into the land right there. So y'all be careful. For my people in the South Louisiana, a lot of our family members in Lake Charles and Lafayette, I know y'all probably done got up out of there. Y'all be careful, man, as we get ready to come up in this thing. And y'all watch yourselves. Be careful, man. And for the rest of the family members out there, y'all have a great day. I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Smart says, man, morning greeting from Germany. Can't really follow the talk right now, but it's still nice to hear a different perspective than you learned over. Okay, thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, who that red? We'll talk later. Red T. Hey, man, you talking to somebody that done studied a few things, man. So let me tell you something, man. I come from that family, man. All right. So anyway, much love to y'all, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one, man. Y'all keep y'all heads up. Be safe. Much love. Who that team.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. I'm a Sports Coma, yeah. This is where we do that. This is where we do that. We do that. Yeah, we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. This is where we do that. This is where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them, say, who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say, who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say, who that? Who
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow.